I'd like to welcome everyone to the November 18th, 2025 board meeting. Everyone, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Bayrudi, I move that we enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel matters.
Do I have a second? Mr. Auer, all in favor?
5, all in favor, 7-0? Motion-
6-0.
6-0. I'm sorry. Oh, he's gone. Okay.
Mr. Garudy, I move that we re-enter the public session.
Do I have a second? Mr. Ponticello, all in favor? Everyone, please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So,
Okay. Move on. I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Muscarella for the superintendent's comments.
Good evening and welcome to the November board meeting. Since Mrs. Rotolo is standing there, if it's okay with the board, I would like to let the orchestra ensemble and everything play first, since they're sitting there with those things ready to go. If you don't mind, are you ready to go, Mrs.?
Yes, we
Here you go. Here we are. We have the chamber orchestra under the direction of the very talented Laura Rotolo.
As everyone gets situated, I just wanted to introduce the chamber orchestra. These are level 5 and 6 players, and they rehearse 1 to 2 times a week, and we compete in the NISBA Majors Festival at Hofstra University. So they're very high-level musicians, work extremely hard, and we're going to play Rondo by Mozart for you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rotolo. They are amazing, and you know what, as a former principal and having seen some of my students here that started with, hot cross buns without a bow, you never got enough of that in the 4th grade. So congratulations on a great job for all of our students here. It's wonderful to listen to. It's really Broadway level. So thank you so much.
I think the custodians.
They love when we help, because we mess up all the
And now, just think of what happened talk about the years, the All-State Ms. Month.
I would like to invite any students who are here tonight who are in All-State, accepted into All-State this year. I think we have Danielle Lee, Haley Ames, Allison Barba, and Jess Caniero. If you guys are here, can you guys come on up, please? Wonderful. So the students, the students standing before you tonight are all accepted and alternated into New York State All-State Festival, which is coming up at the end of December, middle December. And I want to speak a little bit about why that is such an accomplishment, what is required to get accepted into All-State. It's essentially the musical version of states. So the students standing in front of you tonight, in order to be accepted into these ensembles, they had to perform an audition. And many of you will know that, or have done this yourself, that the New York State School Music Association, NYSSMA, hosts a solo festival every single year. We usually just call it NYSSMA, right? Like my kid went to NYSSMA, I am sending my students to NYSSMA. These students essentially did that, but they said, I would like to be auditioning for an All-State this year. And to do an All-State audition means that they have to go into a room in front of a judge, another music teacher, who plays their instrument very well. They have to play 3 random scales out of an entire set of scales, in 2 octaves or sometimes 3 octaves depending. They have to play their piece of music with an accompanist, with a professional pianist playing along with them. And then they have to do a bunch of sight reading where they're reading 8 measures of music that they have never seen before, and it's at a professional level. So the students in front of you are playing music at a professional level. They play a lot, they practice a lot. And in order to be accepted into All-State, they have to do this perfectly. So they will have this performance and they will get 100 on their performance. And once they've done that, you would be like, that's an amazing accomplishment, wonderful. But then their adjudicator ranks them. So they're like, of all of these perfect children who just sat in my room across all of New York State, this one's the best. And that's a really subjective thing to do, that's really challenging, which means that the students standing in front of you today, not only did they play it perfectly and beautifully with a lot of artistry and thought, but they did it the best out of all of the kids who could have gone. And there's a handful of kids who are the best like this, but it's a truly remarkable feat to practice. Like if I said to you, could you please play me an F sharp major scale in 2 octaves right now? I don't think many of us could do that, and these guys can. They'd be like, sure, I don't want to, but I can. So that's remarkable. And kind of like Mrs. Mascarella said earlier tonight, we as your music teachers, I know that I am speaking for all of them, but all of your music teachers get really excited when we hear that you're auditioning for Allstate, when we hear that they get accepted into Allstate. To do this is a tremendous feat, and we get to remember them when we're like, they were playing hot cross buns on the, on their instrument, and it was very squeaky and strange and honky. But the learning curve for somebody who puts in the amount of time and effort that these students have is high, and the reward is high. But what they have done is still remarkable. So when you guys go to Allstate, or when you have the experience where you meet people who have been accepted as alternates to Allstate, because you will at some point in your future life, you're gonna be at a barbecue somewhere and someone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, we auditioned for the same, we were in the same room at the same place at the same time. It's gonna connect you, because that's what music does for all of us. It connects all of us, whether it's the same band that you like, or you play the same instrument as somebody, or you have the same musical experience as somebody else. And that's really what's remarkable about this. So we are extremely proud of you. We are so excited for you. Have the best time when you go. Have so much fun. Meet people, play as much as you can. And even if you don't go into the world becoming a professional musician, please just always take music with you in your hearts. You always can come back to it. Even if you become a doctor, lawyer, architect, whatever down the line, you can always come back to your instrument. It's always there for you. So let's give them a huge round. Thank you. Can we take a picture?
Congratulations, Ms. Yedlin. It's amazing. And you're right, like what a distinction, like to be the best of the best is just a testimony to you, the music department, to the parents, to the students, to their commitment. So thank you so much. And going to ask that I just spoke to Ms. Morrissey, we're going to go ahead with the student recognition. So this way, in fairness to all of our students here, I'm going to ask Ms. Coco to come up. Ms. Ioko. I was going to say Ioko. Every time I do it.
I'll take it.
It's all right. It's just 2 vowels and together, I can't get it.
It's better than Miss Logo, so. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Superintendent Mascarella, board members, and central administration. This is always my favorite part of these nights, is recognizing the hard work and amazing achievements of all of our students. So we have a bunch of different students here tonight who've achieved many different things. We're going to start with 2 of our students. So if I could have Chloe Hong and Anthony Pravana come up here, please. So Chloe and Anthony have received National Merit Scholarship Letters of Commendation. Out of every single student who took the PSATs, only 34,000 students across the whole entire nation took this. So they represent 3 to 4% of the whole entire test takers in the United States who received this. Receiving these letters when they apply to colleges distinguishes them amongst their peers, and the colleges look at this and see how committed they are to their academics. So this is a really big achievement for both of them. We're very proud of them. Right now they are in the process, waiting for their acceptance letters and applying to lots of colleges. Anthony is looking to go into car design, a very specialized field. So we're very excited to see what cars he will design for us to drive in the future. So when you have a really fancy car in the future, you can thank Anthony over here. And Chloe is going into medicine, and she has decided to narrow her focus on neurology. So we're very lucky to have these 2 students who've earned this. So congratulations, guys.
achievement.
Next up, we have a national merit semifinalist. So this is the top 1% of test takers on the SAT. This is Francisco Martinez. If you can come up here, please. Francisco just finished his application for the National Merit Finalist. And in addition to that, he also just received a semifinalist for the Coca-Cola Scholarship. So 107,000 students applied for this and only a little over 1,000 students made it into semifinals. So we have a lot of exciting things going on with Francisco right now. And in all of his free time, besides scoring very highly on the PSATs, he's also involved in music, academics, and sports. He is a member of the varsity tennis team and the varsity volleyball team. He's also a very talented percussionist, and he leads the marching band as one of the drum majors. You'll see him out on the field conducting all of the students during the halftime shows. He's also an active member of the jazz band, and he is also in the Tri-M Honor Society. When he's not doing all of that, he's also part of the English Honor Society, the National Honor Society, where he has to earn credits for these societies, and he participates in the Ethics Bowl and Quiz Bowl, where they also performed very well last year, so I have high expectations for this year, no pressure. Over the past 3 years, he's also taken part in the Intel Research Program, where he has conducted some very high-level research on a very prevalent topic in today's society, social media's impact on academic performance in adolescents. So I'm eagerly awaiting his final paper to see all of the results from that. So let's all take another moment, please, to recognize Francisco. Okay, and last but not least, we have students this year who have received their AP Capstone Diploma. So AP Capstone Diploma is something that a lot of students do not find out that they achieved until after they graduated their senior year, because AP results are not released until July. However, this year we have 5 students who found out that they achieved it before they graduated because they achieved it at the end of their junior year. So those 5 students I'd like to invite up. Most of them have been up here already tonight. Haley Eng, Chloe Hong, Francisco Martinez, Leah Muldoon, and Chital Budin. So in order for them to achieve this recognition, they had to complete 2 courses, AP Seminar and AP Research, and they had to score a 3 or above in those courses. Besides those courses, they also had to take an additional 4 AP exams and score at least a 3 or higher on all of those exams. Between themselves, they averaged a 3.96 on their exams. And this is only from 11th grade, so there's still this year that they have, and they're gonna achieve more. They averaged 8.6 AP exams amongst themselves. So they've already taken all those AP exams. They're very well on their way to achieving a lot of credit towards college already, and we're very proud of them, so congratulations.
Congratulations once again to all our students and to certainly to Ms. Ayoko and to our music teachers as well for a job well done. So thank you so much. So I will now go to the superintendent's report. November was a very, very busy month, but with a couple of days off here and there. Election Day, of course, was that, and Veterans Day, which we celebrated. And we've been busy with Superintendent's Conference Day kicking off the month with our talented staff in all the buildings, doing all kinds of hands-on activities and workshops for meaningful collaboration within the grades and within the verticals. And they continue to grow in strength as they learn and grow on the job within their practice. Best Buddies, one of my favorite things to do is actually be part of it, and I really missed it Friendsgiving today. I would say there was food there, I didn't get there. But anyway, I guess a couple of weeks ago, we had the first kickoff of the Best Buddies, and it was just amazing to watch our high school students buddy up with some of our students with special needs, and the fun that they all had together creating like costumes to do like a runway show. They were just, the energy in the room was amazing. So to thank those advisors as well. The Best Buddies is just a wonderful program in general. Speaking of programs, our STEAM Arcade, which was open to K through 5, I happened to be there. That was another incredible event, watching students create things just out of cardboard or other items that they could gather, and then explaining how they did it and what needed to do to complete the activity. I failed at every basketball event that was there, but I tried my best. There was a hockey one I think I did pretty well at. So we'll go from there, and I'll celebrate those moments. Also like to recognize Coach Shaper who recently celebrated a milestone, I hear, with over 200 career wins. His final home game was at Edward Byrne Field and was an emotional, memorable evening surrounded by players from a lot of different decades. And they came to, support him in his unwavering dedication to playing in his community and to all he's done for athletic program. I was at the game on Saturday, and it was really amazing. It was a beautiful day, thank goodness. It was at Hofstra. And besides the football, our marching band did a great job as well. But the football players were amazing, and they are now advancing to the next level, which is Friday evening at Hofstra at 7:30 for the Nassau County Championship. So if you have time, come on down. Speaking of towns, our district, the Fall Art Show was held at the Brian Moore Center last week, and we had amazing showcase of artistic pieces with vibrant colors and imagination and inspiration. So friends, family, and staff all enjoyed watching, looking at what pieces of art that students created, and they had snacks too. So that was good things. Just a couple of little things. Also, the pre-K registration portal will be open for the 26-27 school year, starting December 1st. So if you have a preschooler, get on that portal, and please remember that a fully completed registrations are required, and any documents that are associated with the registration. So make sure to have those available. We started something you probably noticed if you check Parent Square that, very often we get a lot of flyers from community organizations that are telling us, different sporting things that children can, or families can participate in. So we thought a good way to kind of collect all of those and make sure everybody sees them and doesn't get messed up with the messages coming was to provide it on Saturday, so that every Saturday will only be any new organizations, whether it's deck hockey or every PL, things like that. It'll be collected and put on for Saturday's viewing, which you can go on and look and see what makes you feel happy. So with that, also a very, very big piece is December 11th, we'll be doing the Season of Light celebration at the Brian Moore Center. Of course, it is time. It's always a warm, festive evening. It brings the entire community together, not just to celebrate the Festival of Lights there, but also the life of Brian Moore as well. With that, I will say this last month was Board Recognition Month, and I did not know that, so I'm making it November now. And I wanted to just say a few words to the Board of Education here. I want to thank them for giving of their time, their energy, and their heart to the Plainridge community. Your commitment to our students, families, and staff is felt every single day through the decisions you make and the vision you uphold. The work of the Board of Education is often challenging, frequently unseen, and sometimes thankless. It requires time away from your families and your own lives. Yet you continue to lead with dedication, purpose, and a deep belief in the value of what our teachers do and the impact they have on our students. As an interim superintendent, I have had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the power of your leadership. You champion opportunities, you nurture possibility, and you create the conditions in which every child can thrive. Because of your efforts, the Plainridge community will only continue to grow stronger. I'm truly inspired by the passion and commitment that you bring to this work, so thank you. November, they designate as gratitude month, right? So I thought I would share a little story. It's a parable you may have heard before, but it's short, so indulge me. A blind boy sat on the steps of a building with a hat by his feet. He held up a sign which read, "I am blind, please help." There were only a few coins in that hat, spare change from folks as they hurried past. A man was walking by. He took a few coins from his pocket and dropped them in the hat. And then he took a sign, turned it around, and wrote some words. Then he put the sign back in the boy's hand so that everyone who walked by would see the new words. Soon the hat began to fill up. A lot more people were giving money to the blind boy. That afternoon, the man who changed the sign returned to see how things were. The boy recognized his footsteps and asked, "Were you the one who changed my sign this morning? What did you write?" The man said, "I only wrote the truth. I said what you said, but in a different way." The man said, "I wrote, 'Today is a beautiful day, but I cannot see it.'" Both signs spoke the truth, but the first sign simply said the boy was blind, while the second sign conveyed to everyone walking by how grateful they should be to see. So, when our life seems full of troubles, it seems difficult to maintain an attitude of gratitude, doesn't it? We all see our problems like a blackened storm cloud casting a dark shadow over our lives. And the times when everything just seems to be going smoothly, we often take these precious moments for granted too. Caught up in the bliss, comfort, and familiarity of it all, we can simply forget to be thankful. So remember, November reminds us that gratitude isn't a season, that it's a way of seeing the world one thankful moment at a time. I think that kind of like speaks volumes to me. So as we head into the holiday, I want to wish the entire Plainage community a very happy Thanksgiving. We're so grateful for you that you share your students with us, our families, and our staff who make this district such a great place. A quick reminder, school's closed on the 27th, in case you want to come, and Friday, 28th, of course. Enjoy the time with your loved ones, and thank you for being an essential part of Plainage. With that, I will end with our update on what we're doing in the fields. We have new fields underway at the middle school. A drainage and fencing is completed. The goalposts are just about and netting are poured. Turf is going to arrive in a week or so, and the scoreboard seal is installed. So we're on our way. Library renovations in the buildings, new ceilings are installed. The painting is complete in all the elementary buildings, and we continue to push for January occupants as soon as we get back from break. At West Sporting in the middle school, all the new playgrounds are up and running, and the children seem to be having a great time on it. So we're on our way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Barbarella. And appreciate the kind words and the lovely parable. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to our student representative, Leah, for her comments.
All right, so November was definitely a very busy month, but first, the Safe Halloween was a huge success. The Plainage English Honor Society very much enjoyed helping at this year's event. Members had a blast helping all the children create monster hands and spider lollipops. They look forward to helping Miss Keola with the awesome event year after year, and I'm sure all the other participating clubs feel the same. Many drives and fundraisers have also taken place. Can Wars is currently going on until the 20th. Each grade is encouraged to donate any cans or non-perishable goods to help their grade earn points for Battle of the Classes, which will take place later this year. All donations are going for the Love of Pete's Pantry. Additionally, the Student Council stood outside ShopRite on the 14th, collecting further donations from the community. The NHS also participated in a drive donating hundreds of socks to the Society of St. Vincent de Paul of Long Island. And for fundraisers, the sophomores Double Good Popcorn, the juniors Thanksgiving Pie fundraiser, and the senior blanket sale all just ended and they were very successful. To get into the Thanksgiving spirit, the student councils will be decorating the lobby and main hallway. The hallway of gratitude will be decorated with a paper chain made an advisory to show what students are grateful for. Moving on, Regeneron STS is the nation's oldest and most prestigious science research competition for high school students. Last year in Intel Advanced Research Program, only 4 students submitted their research paper. This year, 25 students submitted a completed application. The cohort has worked together since 10th grade when they presented at Rocky DU and team presentations, and now have completed research individually from start to finish, dedicating hours before school, during school, and even on the weekends to complete this research across various disciplines. Plaintiffs TV students Sabrina Knock, Lauren Marino, and Cole Gribben helped present to over 30 schools, showcasing the PTV club and class. They held an information session here at Plainedge, and the three of them completely took the lead. They presented the program, walked everyone through the morning announcements, live broadcast, sports coverage, editing process, and everything they do each day for the Plainedge and the community. They also led a full tours of the studio spaces. The visiting schools were extremely impressed, not just with the facilities, but the professionalism, confidence, and knowledge the students showed. Many teachers commented on how incredible it was that the kids themselves were running this. Also, the Key Club put flags outside of John H. West for Veterans Day. And then in the classrooms, the business computer application class, students learned how to address and write professional business letters and wrote letters to the brands they admired. The New York Yankees replied to one student and even sent merchandise. It was a wonderful real-world experience that boosted technological and communication skills. Virtual Enterprise is a class where students work together to operate a simulated business that they create. Our C-suite attended a leadership conference at LIU where they made great connections with other student-run firms from across Long Island. This year, our firm will be launching a sports equipment business and will compete against student companies from other schools in competitions and trade shows. The students in the class applied and interviewed for their positions and are excited to build and operate their company. A group of business students also participated in the Adelphi Apprentice Challenge, where they presented with a marketing case study and teamed up with peers from other high schools to create a pitch and innovative marketing plan. It was a fantastic opportunity for collaboration and creative problem solving. In Computer Science Essentials, one of the units of study is cyberbullying and cybersecurity, which was done in October during Cyberbullying Awareness Month. Mr. Santa Maria and Mr. White did a collaborative lesson with the social worker, Ms. Meller, so students expanded their knowledge of the topic from the school support team who are involved with situations like this daily, and to understand the roles in the support team. The students then used Canva to create awareness posters on these topics, and many were entered into the New York State Kids Safe Online Poster Contest and will be shown around the school. In Mr. Dominguez's AP World class, they did a pumpkin project, visually representing the different topics they covered during the quarter in a festive way. The Student of the Month Leave for Pride breakfast also occurred, as well as the Fall District Art Show. And lastly, for sports, varsity cheer competed in the county championship. Varsity girls soccer was a Nassau County Class A runner-up. Varsity girls volleyball made counties for the first time and was a Nassau County Class A runner-up. Varsity boys golf is competing in a county championship tournament in the spring and has 4 athletes that made the county tournament as individuals. Varsity girls cross country team competed in the state qualifier race. The varsity boys cross country runner Nathan Allen competed in the state qualifier race. And lastly, the varsity football is playing in the Nassau County final game and is currently ranked number 1 in the conference.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you, Leah, for that update. Before we move on to routine approvals, just wanted to give an update on the superintendent search. So the Board of Ed, as everyone knows, has begun the important work of selecting our next superintendent. We want to ensure that every voice in Plainedge has the opportunity to be heard. To support this process district-wise, the superintendent search firm will be hosting a series of Zoom and in-person meetings designed to help us shape the superintendent leadership profile. We're still working through some groups to have them scheduled. This profile will guide the search and help to identify the qualities, experience, and vision we want in our next district leader. And that means that your input is not just valuable, it's essential. On December 9th at 7:00 p.m., district-wise will hold a district-wide community forum here in the ILC. I think it's also going to be on Zoom for those who can't attend in person. This forum is open to all members of our community. We invite you to come, share your thoughts, and help define what the district needs as Plainedge Schools looks towards the future. Thank you. At this point, I'm going to move on to routine approvals. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the October 14, 2025 special meeting? Mr. Marcy, second. Mr. Garcia, all in favor?
Sorry. All in favor,
Sorry,
7-0.
7-0. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the October 15, 2025 special meeting? Mr. Garcia, second.
Second.
Mr. Pasquarello, all in favor? Noes? It's 6. Noes, abstention? 1 abstention.
Okay, 6 in favor, 1 abstention.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the October 21st, 2025 Board of Ed meeting? Mrs. Versace, second.
Second.
Mr. Pasquarello, all in favor?
All in favor, 7-0. Motion passes.
Do I have a motion to approve warrant reports 29, 30, 32, 33, 35, 37, and 38? Mr. Garcia, second. Mr. Morrissey, all in favor?
All in favor, 7-0. Motion passes.
Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report, September 2025? Mr. Garcia, second. Mr. Morrissey, all in favor?
All in favor, 7-0. Motion passes.
All right. Moving on to the next section, discussions and presentations. The first presentation is on college and career readiness.
Just watch your back.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Rick. Sitting in people's ways.
Yeah, that's good.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we are going to be presenting our college and career readiness presentation. I'm joined here by Mr. Ricci, Ms. Ioko, and Mr. Wasserman. So the first thing that you think about when your children are applying to college, besides their GPAs and their academic performance across their 4 years here, you think of the SAT test. So they've changed and morphed the SAT throughout the years. The first part that we're going to be looking at is the evidence-based reading and writing portion of it. And this year that we've included what's called the Career Readiness Benchmark. So the College Board has created that, and that number in each of the sections represents the likelihood of a student being successful in college courses once they get there. So in their reading and writing, it would be the humanities-based courses. When we get to the math, it would be some of the math and science courses, what they would be successful in. And it talks about a probability of 75% of them will get at least a C or higher. However, they do put out the disclaimer that even if you get underneath that benchmark, does not mean you're going to be unsuccessful. It just is a calculation that they have occurred and looking at the different cohorts. So as you can see here, we are comparing ourselves to New York, and the black bar and the gray bar is the nation, and plain edge is red. So you can see here that we surpass both New York and the nation in the reading and writing. We did decrease by a couple of points, but looking at that, that's not as significant of a decrease because the rate of New York has changed a lot more than plain edge. So our kids are looking, and they've surpassed the 480 benchmark in the reading and writing. When you look at the mathematics scores as well, again, the benchmark here is 530. We surpassed the benchmark. We also surpassed New York and the nation in that. So then when you look at the overall benchmark is a 1010. And again, we surpass that as well as New York and the nation. Another key factor to think about when you look at the SATs, when we all went to school, the SAT was required to get into college. At this point, it's not required for all schools. Some schools are test optional, so some kids decide not to take the SAT. So we've seen a decrease in the number of students that take it as well. But we are continuing to enhance our SAT prep courses that are free to our students after school in both ELA and math. Another test that students take is the ACT. And ACT, we've kind of stayed flat, looking at our scores. When you look at this, if you think about it, a lot of schools are not even taking the SAT, a lot less really take the ACT into consideration. And just to give you a frame of reference, from 2021, we had about 78 students who took it, and our cohorts range between 200 and 220. In 2025, we only had like 20 students take it. So that test is becoming less and less intriguing to our students to take.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little about AP exams. AP exams are looked at by colleges to compare our students nationally and internationally. So over the past 3 years, you'll see that the number of AP exams that our students have taken has increased. It's increased for a few reasons. One is because our English 10 honors test has been replaced with AP Seminar, and we're going to talk about AP Seminar a little later on and why that is significant. We also offer the students more opportunities with AP classes, and music theory is offered every other year. So depending on the years that that's offered, also impacts the test, and they've added some new courses on, so this year our numbers will be a little higher too, because we've also given students the opportunity to take AP pre-calculus. With the AP Seminar, that opportunity that I'm going to talk about in the 2 large slides, also last year we had a 100% pass rate, so we're very happy with that. And that is going to impact the amount of students that take the AP test. So not only is it great that we have a lot of students taking the exams, but they also have to perform well on the exams to receive potentially either what colleges need as college credit, or what they will do is exempt them from the entry-level class, depending on the colleges. Normally the standard is a 3 or higher that they're looking at as what they consider a pass, so either the colleges can consider what the pass out of this entry-level class, or we're going to automatically award you either 3 or 6 credits depending on their standards for this class. So that has been on an increasing trajectory over the years, with not only an increase in total number of AP students, but a total number of exams, and then the total percentage of all those test takers earning a 3 class. So last year we had almost 90% of the students who did take an exam earning a 3 or higher on those exams. And then what the AP does is they recognize schools for meeting 3 different criteria on these exams, and they have an honor roll. The results for this year have not come out yet. They come out in November, so we'll probably get tomorrow after this presentation. So I can't share those yet, but I can share last year's. And the criteria they have for that are based on 3 different buckets. So they look at college culture, which is just the number of students taking any AP exam at any point in high school, regardless of their performance. And that doesn't include for us like our dual enrollment. So they don't look at our students who are also taking college credit courses that we offer here. So even though it says only 44% of the students for their college culture definition, ours is much higher because students who might not be taking AP exams are taking college credits as well here. And then they also look at not just the college culture, they call it the college credit, so the percent of students as we saw on the past slide who earn a 3 or higher, that's another bucket. And then their last is the college optimization, which is the number of students who took 5 or more AP exams, starting with at least 1 in 10th grade, 9th or 10th grade. And in our case, we now offer more in 10th grade with AP. So that number should
be going up, so once we get our score.
Probably, like I said, tomorrow. And then the last thing they do is not just recognize the school overall for their AP performance, but they recognize the students individually for the AP performance. And they have different categories. They have AP Scholars, which is students who receive a score of 3 or higher on 3 or more exams. They will designate you an AP Scholar, and this is something you can report to colleges. Another designation they have is a Scholar with Honor, so that's 3 on 4 or more exams with an average score of 3.25. Then they have the AP Scholar with Distinction, which is a 3.5 on all the exams taking, and with at least 3 on 5 or more exams. And then the final, which is the AP Capstone Diploma, which I spoke about earlier today with the students. We had 11 students earn it last year, at the end of last year. In July, that was decided. The year prior, we had 5, and the year before that, we had 0. So we're definitely increasing. And now with those students who are taking AP Seminar, and they also have to take AP Research to get AP Capstone,
we know those numbers are going to continue to increase. So in the coming years, we're going to see that continue to go up.
All right, and with all of the hard work of our students, obviously many of them are going to take on this new college career path. So looking at the total number of applications that our students have submitted, obviously we're staying relatively consistent with the number of applications that we're sending out, despite the cohort size changing periodically year to year. Of these numbers, 59% of the applications that we do push out are getting early admission to some of these colleges that they're applying for. So that's either early decision or early action, that they're getting into colleges right away. In addition, the applications per student are staying consistent as well. So this is with SUNY Farmingdale being the largest of our applicants. We are seeing the students putting out a lot of applications, which you'll see on the next slide is also going to the percentage students. So 3/4 of the applications that we're putting out are actually being accepted by these colleges and universities. So many of our students are getting into colleges that are either reach schools or opening up opportunities that would otherwise not be available to them. So we're really excited to see that not only are we putting the information out there, but our students, because of all the hard work that they've achieved, that they're getting into their colleges that they would desire to go to. I'll pass it up to Mr. Bosco.
Okay. So it's exciting to look back on this past year, and as much as all the educators in the room and the administration see, you're working tirelessly to support the community and the students, and it's exciting to see where they end up going. So when you look at this slide, you'll notice that about 150, over 75% of the class are going on to colleges, with the majority being other four-year colleges, but we have students that are pursuing in-state or city schools on the community side. One thing to note is that of the students that are pursuing other four-year colleges, that is comprised of about 17 colleges across 17 states across this country. So our students are reaching high and large and going outside of their comfort zone in the community. So what you'll see here is college attendance rate of Plainage graduates versus for 2-year and 4-year colleges. And you'll notice year to year, again, we are relatively consistent on the 2- and 4-year schools. Last year, we had an increase on 4-year colleges compared to 2-year. That may come out to be in the taste and interest of the particular cohort, as well as the support that they're receiving from guidance along the way. We participate with the National Clearinghouse, and so we're receiving insight after our students leave our hallways into their performance and success rate when they're at college. So what you see here is up to 2024. Obviously, they're still in fall of 2025. So we have students that are still enrolling and succeeding in their freshman year. Traditionally, this information, this data does tend to drop about 2%, but it's been consistently dropping at 2% year after year. So when you look at 2-year and 4-year colleges over the same time period, it is consistent. And what last year shows also again is that our students are looking to pursue the highest level of degree that they can on the undergraduate level. When you look at the attendance rate of our students versus regional graduates, we are exceeding the region in terms of our 4-year and obviously if our 4 years increasing, our 2-year college going rate is decreasing. Now on the unknown student side, these may be students that have decided to pursue career opportunities or pathways or a gap year opportunity. These are students that we look at and still welcome opportunities to support over maybe a year or two after they graduate. So the counseling department does stay in touch, and if any student reaches out for guidance on their future path, we are here to support them. And what you see here is again that data from the National Clearinghouse that shows our success rate when we start looking at 4-year plus pathway to attaining a bachelor's degree. We are consistent across the board and are exceeding our region cohort. And so our students are consistently, and you see we go up to 2020 because we're only looking at the current 4-year group, which would bring them up to 2024 graduation. And those students right now tend to be roughly around 40% on the 4-year path and an average of around 10% on the 5-year. So I get excited highlighting initiatives. I was actually here last night hosting our college testing night. And so we do quite a bit here to support the students and have some exciting new initiatives that I'm excited to share. So ongoing, we have a K-12 college and career program. Part of that actually is our Bright Futures Week, which is coming up on the elementary side next week. This week, sorry. This week. Right now. And we've been working hard. I was working with our elementary counselor, Mr. Tizio, on evolving our programming year after year. And the kids come in and they're so excited to talk about what the future holds for them. We work closely with the building administration and the guidance department to be able to utilize our advisory curriculum and programming to provide individualized and group supports to our students throughout the school day, as well as pushing into classrooms and hosting from 9 through 12 in the high school individual and group supports for the students to ensure that they have a plan when the time comes for them to apply to college. We also have upwards of 100 plus colleges visiting us, and we have a college fair and a career fair in March that we'll be hosting in the gym. We have evening programs, as I mentioned. Coming up, we also have curriculum night, December 10th, with a shout out. We have standardized testing administration, so we will offer the SAT here in March for our students only, which actually gives them 2 tests in March to be able to do, prepare for, and maximize their ability to improve their scores on the SAT. We, in about 3 weeks ago, supported groups of students that are applying to the Nassau Community College and completing their application, and in the spring we'll be hosting their placement testing to ensure that our students are going in the Nassau working, not having to remediate any types of credits. And as you heard from me in the spring of last year, along with Dr. DiPiola, we're very proud of our Seal of Civic Readiness progress here. Last year we had our first cohort graduate with Seal of Civic Readiness recognition with 73 students. This year, in this current graduating class of 2026, we already have 27 students that have earned it outright. This is before we learn about the activities that they've been a part of, independent of the Plaintiff community. So we expect our number for last year to be met, and we're aiming to exceed that number. One initiative that is also happening in the high school this week that I'm excited to talk about is our instant decision. This is where we partner with colleges, not just in our area, but we also have colleges from outside of our area come meet with our students and provide admission decisions on the spot. Those decisions also can be accompanied with scholarship. So we love our scoreboards in Plain Edge. We created a scoreboard for this year, and now we've only had 2 days worth. We will be going with all of these colleges through the end of the week, and thus far, our students have exceeded over $1 million in scholarships that have been awarded to them. And we have a number of students, some who have been admitted already to multiple colleges. And we have many more signed up over the next couple of days, which is incredibly exciting. This is a sign, and I don't know if I want to show it to the other ones. Okay, so this is a sign that is hung in the guidance office this week, and we'll be moving to the lobby, but we have 35 students who are accepted to Delphi. They don't share their scholarship money offerings with us at this program because they have a committee that considers it. We have 44 students that were admitted to Long Island University with a total scholarship going to $924,500. We have 28 students who were accepted to Malloy with $661,000 in scholarship offered, and 10 admitted to SUNY Albany, which for a state institution that is limited in their budget to have $32,000 offered to those students is quite impressive. And we expect quite a few more acceptances and many more scholarship dollars coming our way by the end of this week. On the new initiative front, last spring we started pushing into the English classes after the readings were done to help our students complete common applications. So all of the junior class had started or completed a common application going into the summer before their senior year. We hosted a college admission panel for the first time in many years in February, which we'll be doing again this year. In 2027, which unfortunately is just based on the demand, otherwise we would have it sooner, we're excited to host, partner with Northwell to offer a medical career day where they bring every single department within the Northwell system to do a full day fair with workshops and breakout sessions and opportunities for students to meet and understand that there are a variety of different careers offered in the medical field. It's not just a matter of going into the doctor or the surgeon side of things. There are tremendous lucrative opportunities for students in viable careers that we want to expose them to. We'll be offering breakout sessions for the first time at this year's college fair, supporting students that are going down the athletic recruiting route, as well as families and students looking for specialized programs. As Dr. DiViola mentioned earlier, we are happy to expand our free SAT courses. Last year, we went from 2 to 3 sessions based on the demand, and we're more than happy to do that based on the needs of this community. We are promoting every opportunity for gaining financial aid through the college process. So families receive parent square updates to me frequently with different webinars and opportunities to take the financial aid process, demystify it, and provide individualized support. On Superintendent Conference Day, I ran a teacher recommendation workshop with our faculty to be able to ensure that we are doing everything we can to best support our students from our perspective and make sure that the world understands how special Plain Ed graduates are. And in our curriculum guide this year, we're excited to do mapping, career pathway mapping from the courses and the electives, as well as the extracurricular activities that we offer directly into career paths, so students can select their courses with a little bit more intention as they look to their future beyond that. With that, we'll open up to any questions.
So this is approaching my household right now. What advice do you have for the parents of children that don't really have an idea of what they want to do? And do they just apply to a million things and just see what sticks and then hope in the next year or so they figure it out? What advice would you give to a parent who really doesn't know what to tell their child, which avenue to go down?
Sure. You know, the college process, and I can say it, I'm not just the director of guidance, I'm a parent of a senior. It's a lot, and I'm watching my wife go through this, hearing me talk about it over the years, but now experiencing it with our child. I think the most important thing is for children to understand they're not alone in this process. Some kids may be independent and may be going in their own direction. Usually parents that have multiple children will find that one is different than the other. Some need hand-holding, the others are self-goers. I think it's important for students to know regardless. We're doing this as a group. As parents, you need to be educated just the same as them. There is not just one place for an individual, there are many. And there are small ways to start. The process can feel many times like drinking from a fire hose. And quite often you just need to know what is the best first step forward. We can figure out everything else down the line. I will tell every family, don't worry about where you're going. You haven't gotten in anything. For somebody who's in 10th or 11th grade, the first step is understanding your needs and wants, identifying what's out there, and maybe taking that first breadcrumb, which could be visiting a college that you may have no intention of going to. We've got a bunch in our backyard that clearly adore our students and respect what our education is offering them. Maybe take a visit there for a 10th or 11th grade. If you're going away on December break or February break, visit a college. Just see what it's about. I can learn more as a guidance counselor knowing what you don't like versus you coming back and going, it was great, and that's it. So I think as a family unit, we have great support. We have great, well-experienced counselors that can work individually with the family, that can answer questions on the fly and say, look, here's a good first step, or maybe the 5th step for you. After you do that, here are some questions to think about that will dictate all future steps. But the best and most important advice is take a deep breath. It's all going to be okay. And we have a lot of things happening between now and when it's time to apply. That if you come to the events, you can make it. If not, we have resources available that will walk you through that. And the one last thing I'll give just as another promotion, on the guidance website, we have a robust college guide that walks through the A to Z of the college process and just even gives you a sense of a timeline and a couple of things that you do right.
Okay, I have a follow-up question. So do you meet with the students one-on-one to try to elicit from them, well, what are you good at? What are you not good at? What do you see for yourself in the future? And if they come up short, I mean, do they have aptitude tests? I mean, we did that years ago. I don't know if they still do that. Their aptitude testing, like, how do we shape the tree for them a little bit? To, like you said, figure out what they don't want, figure out which avenue they should be focusing on. Is that interviews with you guys, or?
We're actually right now meeting with our ninth graders. So we're starting with individual meetings to get to know them and to help them get to know themselves. So this is not just a junior, senior year conversation. In fact, we're doing aptitude tests in the middle school starting in the next couple of weeks to help them understand what careers exist. So there's quite a bit of career programming, but the counselors can also recommend other resources outside of what we have access to.
Great, thank you so much.
Of course.
So, to piggyback off of something that Mr. Sanderson mentioned, just looking at that graph, number of years 13 of 4-year college degree, when I look at that, I get a little concerned, especially as a father, since also college is pretty expensive for them to start and not finish. So you look at these percentages, 33%, 40%, you know, that's kind of one of those things I think that I would be concerned about is, are we counseling the right way so that they're not starting something that they're not going to finish? And again, like even state schools, which I think are at $30,000 to $40,000 a year potentially, at full rate of tuition, you know, room and board, it's expensive. And then to get private students, you know, we get up to 8,000 some universities at this point. What can we do to make sure that we're better at counseling students, that they are actually picking the right career path? Because I think it's great that we have statistics that show a lot of kids are going to 4-year schools, but that if 30% of them aren't completing it, that kind of raises alarm bells to me.
So there are a lot of factors that go into that, you know, so financial implications, you don't know what occurs on family lives, you know. Sometimes there could be even like family situations, if there's a death in the family and then they can no longer afford to send their children and they might have to come back or do something like that. Recording in progress. Okay. So there are many factors with that. Yes, there are some students that take longer to complete it because they also change their majors. I am one of those people. I changed my major a few times when I was in college. I went in saying I was going to be a doctor. I was going the medical route. There was nothing changing my mind until I went to college. Then I changed my mind a couple of times. So, you know, we can do our advising and get their students' interest, but until sometimes you're like out there, you don't really know. So that's why with this career mapping, now that we're doing with the curriculum guide, it's really helping our students look at classes that, oh, if I'm interested in medicine, I should take anatomy and physiology. Now, if the student goes into anatomy and physiology and was like, I do not like this whatsoever, then we can help advise them that that might not be the best career path for you going into college. So we're hoping that all these initiatives and getting more careers in here, as well as our students, you know, when we partner with the BOCES program to allow them to explore what they want to see, what they really are interested in, should help that. So again, there are a lot of factors though that are out of our control that we won't be able to help. And if you see, we're not out of line with anywhere else. So if we were completely out of line, then I would maybe say like, oh, we have to really change what we're doing. But I think, you know, looking at the chart, we are in line. We're actually higher than the region, and taking all these initiatives that the high school administration team as well as central office have been working and collaborating and hearing what the community wants and needs and supports our students, we're hoping that those numbers will go up. But we are really tailoring our courses to the future careers of what's going to happen?
I'm afraid to turn on the mic at this point. Want to try it? All right, it's working. So obviously ACT, number of test takers for ACT had declined dramatically. I guess whatever it was, from 5 years ago. Did we see the same thing with SATs, or is that kind of level? Do we know? I mean, if you don't know, it's fine.
No, the number of test takers on the SAT has actually been somewhat consistent. It dropped down a little bit with the whole test optional movement.
Okay.
One of the big things that people don't really know when we talk about on the ACT side, there's been a massive evolution to their test itself. They moved to having a science section that was optional now. They were paper for a while, now they're paper and digital. There's been a lot that has been in flux and not really well articulated. They changed ownership, there's a lot of things out there, which impacted the market share, to be frank.
That makes sense.
And so what happened on the island, the SAT has always been that kind of tried and true exam. It's remained consistent. The PSAT is much more common than the pre-ACT, so students become more comfortable with it. But that doesn't mean that we won't work individually with the student. If the ACT speaks to being a more appropriate test for them, we'll recommend. But the students at the end of the day have to be comfortable actually sitting.
And some students take that just to see if they do better on that score than the SAT because it is two different types of testing.
Right. One other question that I'm just trying to reconcile in my head is, you can kind of see a little bit of a slip in the SAT scores from year to year, but then when you look at the AP exams, right, you seem to be pretty much outperforming. And I've always looked at AP, at least when I was at school 30 years ago, I always looked at AP exams being more difficult than sitting for an SAT. And obviously the point of the exams are different, right? How do you explain that? Like, you know, an exam that is, to your point, well-known, tried and true, an AP exam that's more difficult, seems like we're improving in that area, but maybe in SATs we're declining in that area.
So an AP is, really related to the skills and content you're
Right.
learning within that course.
Right.
SAT is on the broader global scale. And also, the test anxiety sometimes factors into students. You never know on that particular day of how they feel with SATs versus the AP. The teachers work very hard preparing our students for those AP exams. And if you also take a look at that's how some of the standards have been changing from, and they do the backwards design of looking at AP exams and the SATs, and that's how New York has really tried to evolve their standard, and it's not so much content, it's looking at skill base as well. So with that being said, AP classes are with content,
Right.
SAT is on that more global scale.
I would just add also, it's the AP classes are what you're doing from September to June.
Right.
It is consistent, reliable, expertly taught. The SATs or the ACTs are a supplemental option for students. You got to squeeze that in. Family, extracurricular, athletics, holiday, time for yourself, schoolwork. To be able to dedicate the time to mastering that really requires a pretty good commitment, as well as resources that will help you in understanding what you don't know.
Right.
And on our AP side, I've been nothing but impressed by what our teachers are doing to be able to help the kids prepare.
So I guess, just for layman's terms, someone who's not an educator, right? Is what you're saying is that AP is obviously subject focus, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about SAT, and I'm just thinking of one section, I don't even know if it exists anymore. Word association, that's a different type of thinking, different type of knowledge. So if our students are not performing as well in that area, does that mean that maybe we should be working towards helping them think kind of more conceptually, or is that a critical thinking thing? Like word association, right? That was supposed to test, I think, how you think through critical components or whatever. It's a different type of knowledge, right?
Correct.
Are we missing something there that we should be instituting into our curriculum? K through 12 at this point.
All of the curriculum talks about, the critical thinking skills and the 21st century skills, and that's why it's getting that deeper dive, is to really have our students think, like in math, like as a mathematician and a problem solver, not just I can, recite the times table or I can recite a formula.
of really understanding where it comes from. But again, AP exams are so specific, and you know, you're in there from September to June. But SAT now is doing that whole base of knowledge and doing those skills. That again, you know, our students are still performing very well compared to others, and that slight decrease here and there, again, it could be cohort, based on the cohort, you know, so I'm not really that concerned with that part, because I think our teachers are doing a great job in really continuously evolving as these standards change, as these tests change on us constantly. I think they're doing a great job in helping prepare our students, and we do offer all that extra support after school as well for our students. I mean, I remember my parents had to pay a lot of money for me to take those SAT classes on Saturday, and we're offering them free to our community.
And they don't do the word association anymore. This is to that, as that is to that.
You notice the whole title change.
Math is covering algebra, geometry, and algebra 2. The kids are getting that in the curriculum.
Okay.
The English side is text analysis, vocabulary development. They're getting that through the nature of the English curriculum. These tests aren't designed for everybody to get 1600.
Right.
You know, they're designed to
They
get
shouldn't be.
harder, and they shouldn't be, right? And so, you know, we always can look and see what we can glean that makes sense to incorporate into a curriculum to help the kids with general skills in those areas. And we do have access to information from the College Board that informs them and is shared with our faculty.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, thank you all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't understand.
Let me take this opportunity to introduce two hardworking people in our district. Eddie Ross is our food service director, and Teresa McCarthy is our assistant. We all work on the food service program together in close collaboration. This is just an update of our food service program and what's going on in it. We'll talk about the origins of the program and how it came to be. So early on, it became quite evident that students who were hungry and malnourished had difficulty learning in school. Accordingly, volunteers stepped in and began feeding the students. These local initiatives were gradually replaced by a national initiative through the use of surplus crops, which helped both farmers and the students. So New York State provides commodity foods to the schools. We get 45 cents per meal served in the prior year. We served, I think, about 180 meals last year, and we received about $80,000 in commodity food from the state through our program. And in addition to the commodities, there's something called bonus foods that become available depending on market price of crops, as well as harvest yields. So this is the USDA propping up the price of surplus food to help the farmers. So if the school participates in the National School Lunch Program, it's entitled to receive reimbursement. Breakfast and lunch meals must meet nutritional requirements established by both the federal government under the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010, as well as New York State nutritional guidelines. If the district does not participate, it is not bound by the regulations, but will not receive subsidies under the federal program, which we'll talk about towards the end of the presentation. And districts are not mandated to serve either brunch or breakfast or lunch.
So this year, in the governor's enacted budget in the 25-26 school year, she has really renamed the program to become the Universal Free School Meals, which basically means that every SFA, which is what a school food authority is, who participates in the federal breakfast and or lunch program, is required to provide a reimbursable school meal at no cost to all students. So for those of you who might have been familiar with the free and reduced program, you filled out an application, you qualified for free, some qualified for reduced, the majority of our district pays full price. Now, under the governor, we are all receiving all of those. So the state is picking up the most of the reimbursement. In prior years, the federal government had picked up most of it. Thanks to Governor Hochul, she's changed the dynamic, and now the state's picking up the majority of our reimbursable revenue. So as you can see, we have breakfast reimbursement rates and lunch reimbursement rates. So quite according to our reimbursement rates for this year, for every breakfast meal served, we earn $2.56. For every lunch meal served, we are in the second category, which is less than 60% plus PBR. And we receive $4.74 for every lunch meal served.
These are our daily requirements for breakfast and lunch. For example, breakfast is up to 2 grams of grains, and then also a fruit, and also milk is also available for sleeping pushes. For lunch, it's 2 grams of and then also they have to take a fruit and vegetable. They also get protein, and they also have other options during lunch than just the main item on the menu that's going to show up next. So this is the breakfast menu we're offering right now. We have 5 different choices through the week. I have some samples over there that you can roll the link in place.
Take a look. So you can see what's included in some of the offerings that we're trying.
Elementary school is.
This is across the district.
Okay.
All 5. My son is a grab and go type of
Here's a look at, this is has each package with them that has the 8 ounces, and it's a fruit serving, and then I also order milk and also fresh fruit or cup food during the day for breakfast. This is our lunch menu at the high school, which we serve daily each menu item, but also in the high school we also offer hot sides pizza or cheeseburger. Then we have a boar's head bar on the cold side where they can choose from 3 different options, which is basically boar's head salami, ham, or turkey. They have it toasted, and we also have lettuce, tomato to put on your sandwiches, whatever way you wish to have it. It's basically going to a deli. So we get the same experience with a nice boar's head bar.
So that's every day, in addition to those on the menu, we have the boar's head bar, we have pizza and a hamburger available for students.
These are our new updated serving lines in the elementaries. They actually, the ones we had were so outdated, the steam tables weren't working. Now we have steam tables that convert from steam or refrigeration, so that we can put cold items on the serving line and hot items on the serving line at the same time. There's also a grab and go unit where the milk is and fresh fruit is put in, and also vegetables. Cheap food is to grab. So we're very efficient to the elementaries. This is the high school. We just did that over, I guess, 2 years ago, I think it was. It's a great addition. On the right-hand side, my right, that is the cold side, which is boar's head bar, and to the left is the hot side where you get only hot items. In the middle is where you can pick what drink you wish to have for the day. And then they have all the TVs where the menus are shown for all the students to see. It's very, very, it's a great, great, great addition to the cafeteria. These are vending machines that we have in the high school, which are all compliant by New York State. They all have 51% whole grain for all snacks, less sugar, and also all the drinks are basically compliant with New York State and child nutrition.
The drinks we serve are either flavored seltzers or
Flavored
water at
seltzers
this
and
point.
water, that's all.
And, I don't want anybody to get excited about the Doritos and the vending machines, but they're all whole grain.
Everyone's got whole grain.
Oh, baked and baked.
So it's not what you're buying at home, it's completely different. This is just.
Well, what's in
So last year, for the fiscal year 24-25, we served a total of 184,255 lunches. Last year, we were only offering lunch. And on the next slide, you can see, in the past, the breakdown between free, which is the orange, reduced, which is a really small amount, and full paid is green. So historically, our district has been predominantly a full price district. We don't really qualify that many people in the free and reduced area. Obviously now in 25-26, everybody eats.
Hey, you remember what the price of the meal was, it $3.50 or $3.75 at the high school?
$3.
$3.25.
School, high school, $5, elementary, $3.
That was 24.
So this year, under our new universal formula, in the month of October, we served 11,000 breakfasts. Now remember, this is the first time ever we're offering breakfast. In the month of September, we served about 7,000 breakfast meals. By October, we were up to 11,000, and we're predicting that it's slowly going to build even higher. For lunches, in September, we served, I think it was 20,000, and now lunch is up to 30,000. And compared year over year, last year in October, we only served 20,000 lunches. This year, we're already at 30,000 lunches in the same month. So we're seeing, obviously, that the Universal Free Meals is really contributing to the fact that more and more students are partaking in the program.
These are the offerings that will be on the menu over December. We did try a bagel breakfast today. It's sausage, egg, and cheese. It went over slowly, but I think it's just because it's the first day. The students still wanted more so of the granular items that you will have in front of you, but I'm sure that it should go up. If then knowing that it's on the menu, that they read the menu and actually word of mouth. And then Thursday we'll be also serving pancakes. It comes in a little pouch. It's very easy to like put in the book bag or whatever. So the kids, they actually like it a little better because I do that for breakfast and lunch sometimes in high school on Thursdays.
Yes, you walked me through a little bit, the fresh fruit at breakfast, how are they getting that? How are they?
There's a basket.
Anecdotally, are kids grabbing it or no, not really?
No, the kids actually love the sliced apples. Some kids are actually more partial to the applesauce, so we make applesauce cups. And then also have oranges or whole apples. So each 4 or 5 chips.
So the same grabbing both kind of model, they go through, they grab an apple.
Yep.
Eddie, and where do those fruits come from?
We're in the FAVES program, which is a fruit and vegetable program that we are part, use some of our money that Peter was talking about, and it comes in fresh weekly to each school, delivered to each school.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the $80,000 that we received? That number will obviously go up next year because we'll be serving a lot more money. But for this year, we're stuck with $80,000 worth of commodity foods. But Eddie, why don't you talk a little bit about how the commodity program works?
Right, so the commodity program is each February, I have to distinguish what items I would purchase, like to try new ones. So I convert some money to the food festival program, at least like $25,000 to $30,000. That is the bigger thing for me. I think fresh items for the students is a nice option to have because it wasn't so much in the past. Since the last 4 or 5 years, that came to effect, which is great. The other items is for like all the canned goods we use for like vegetables or the fruits like peaches and pears. We also have like little applesauce cups that we get from the state, and also I can divert money into chicken, which we are, as this district, we're using whole muscle, which means that we use mostly white meat. white meat chicken, no, I'm sorry, that's how they talk to me about it. But it's whole muscle, meaning that it's all white product. So the chicken nuggets, the chicken tenders, the popcorn chicken is all white meat. So I put money into that also.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you get an allocation or you choose an allocation of chicken, you send it out to a converter, they call it?
Yes.
And so Eddie will pick what he has made out of the chicken that we get. It may be chicken patties, chicken nuggets, because but he chooses what comes back from companies like Tyson's and
Tyson, yes. Pilgrim's Pride, which is actually made by Tyson, but it's a different name. It has the whole chicken.
So the kids, I gotta pretend my kids grab the fresh fruit, but it's basically the fresh fruit or one of these packs?
Well, it's either the juice box that's in there is considered a fruit,
Okay,
or they can have both.
so it's kind of just whatever they do, they can do.
Whatever the student chooses to take, they're more welcome, but they have an option.
we don't restrict.
Are we driving the teacher nuts for the first 10 minutes of class? Because I couldn't hear anything he was saying while Doug was. So a couple things. Breakfast, we basically have to figure out how to serve breakfast for $2.56, and that's it. That's locked in. You can't charge an extra $1 and give them like a bagel with cream cheese from Bagel Hut or something. It's whatever really you can fit within that price now.
That's
because
the
of the program.
nutritional requirements.
And
So that's.
so you're really locked in. I mean, there is just not a lot of leeway because you have to hit the protein, the greens, and all the other things. And then lunch, 4A, that gives you a little more flexibility. We see, obviously it's going up. I bet a lot of these get taken just for eating later even. Are we seeing, we must be seeing snack sales like way under what they were in previous years.
Snacks are still one of the most popular items.
Okay. And that would be, so a parent would have to put money on the card, and that money would now only be for the snacks. I bet as that money gets spent on the cards, like I don't think we've recharged the card this year, so I bet it does go down. Look, I wish we could provide like the greatest whole food food. When you look at the dollar allotments that we really got locked into this year with the taxpayer-funded meals, there's not a lot you can do with that.
So I think a little bit over a third of that reimbursement probably goes to labor. So you're really stuck with.
Yeah, the food cost is really.
And we've been talking about it. My concern is that the allotment, we're probably making decent money right now because we're using the allotment, but towards the end of the year, when that allotment runs out and we're buying all the food as opposed to getting surplus food.
And as the number of meals goes up, I guess the reimbursement goes up also, but
Next year.
it's next year. So we might have to hire more labor at some point.
I think we're pretty good, right? We expanded the hours a tiny bit, nothing significant to cover the programs.
I mean, maybe 1 or 2 people. As right now, everybody's doing a great job with the staff members we've had in each of the schools. It's just a lot of stuff.
Quick question, so I think at the elementary level, there's a salad bar, is that like every day, or is that just on certain days?
No, I usually do it like on a Friday, but to next to the pizza days, and sometimes 2 to 3 times a month, just so they have the experience of going to the salad bar, seeing what the vegetables are. A lot of students don't know what it is, so we have pizza stand next to it.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, the salad bar takes a lot of assistance.
It does, because they have to help the student with the boat, bring the food in the boat, and bring it back to the table.
Because and the reason why I was asking is I think I heard maybe we don't have one at the middle school, but I heard it was like a big hit in the elementary school. So if that's correct, what I'm hearing.
We do not have a salad bar at the middle school, but we do make salads.
Okay.
Like in basically a tin, a little plastic container.
Sure.
You can look at it, maybe do a salad bar, introduce it going forward.
I mean, I'm not a student at the middle school, it's just like, the stuff about that, like, you know, the salad bars are a great addition at the elementary, and they wish they had it at the middle school, but I don't know really what that means.
No, we can look at it and I can probably go forward and introduce it and see how it actually.
And we have one at the high school?
We have salads daily.
Okay.
You can make salad, whatever type of salad. Not a salad bar, but we
I
can.
mean, obviously, at the high school level, we're more flexible in what we serve because the students are more independent.
Right.
You know, you gotta be careful with what you serve at the elementary schools.
And that would be the question I would ask.
Oh, like
That's
allergies and,
No, I just think the assistants that are required to,
just because they're little.
yeah. 'cause they're
Well,
little.
we don't have any choke items or anything per se,
Right.
not
Right.
on that. Or if we do strawberries, they're cut up into quarters.
Right.
And then all the other items are pretty much elementary friendly.
Right.
Well, I just make the same argument with the middle school as for the high school with the salad bar. I mean, are the salads a big hit? I mean,
At the high school, yeah, we do anywhere from 10 to 20 a day.
do the students like the flexibility? Because I don't, my own daughter go into extra help or running around, you know, sort of building that capacity in middle school as they go into high school. And there's no need to, we could look into it, but I don't know, we need to look into something, for the pure sake of looking at something if the system we have works.
We will introduce the elementary, it keep going to middle school and high school. So I can introduce it next month. The salads to middle school.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
I have a
appreciate
question.
you.
Mr. Beard, I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
I want to just piggyback. I think anytime we can offer more fresh fruit and fresh veggies to any grade level, the better we are, which spirals me into the next thing. What do we do for special populations with food allergies, maybe people that are vegan or have cultural restrictions? What type of options do we have for those kids?
Each parent will call in the beginning of the school year. All these, their requirements or nutritionals or their allergies are put onto their accounts.
Okay.
So when they do come up to the serving line, sometimes they want this, but they're not supposed to have it, but it pops up, so the ladies are able to correct it. But I am in contact with a few, maybe a dozen parents that actually ask for certain items, like gluten-free bread, or instead of doing a sandwich, we do a cheese and ham roll-up instead, and the tater tots, which tater tots is usually gluten-free also. So there's a few options that parents have spoken to me about.
So they just contact you directly and make the accommodation?
They will maybe talk to the principal will refer to me, and then I set up a plan.
Great, thank you.
I got a question, probably for Teresa. So we're serving 10,000 more meals per month about, just with our little sample size in October. And the fee for a lunch last year was $3.25, you said?
No, that was what we were charging.
We were charging $3.25. That's what you were charging last year. So we're going to a complete reimbursement model, so we're making more per lunch.
Yes.
I guess, so how is the health of our finance?
Reimbursement last year?
What was the reimbursement level?
Yeah.
So not only were we charging the $3.25, we were also getting a couple bucks back in reimbursement from the state.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we're
on top of that. All right,
we're
so
probably less.
so this isn't helping out the lunch fund, it's.
Not on a per meal basis.
But obviously a higher volume with the same people
Okay, so
helps.
we're making it up at 10,000 more meals served. Right, so I guess we'll have better numbers over the next few months to
I
see.
think you're gonna have to wait for the second half of the year to see
Okay.
when our commodities run out, and see what
Okay.
the impact of that is.
Right, when we start to see the monthly P&Ls, when you put our actual food cost of what we have to start buying, not only just the food, but the materials it takes to put together the lunch.
Mhm.
You know, you're talking everything from aluminum foil and wrapping to, you know, when you're doing 10,000 more meals a month, that's 10,000 more pieces of
Paper
everything.
trays.
Paper trays.
It's like 50% more supplies and, yeah.
So all of that, and as you all know, if you've been in the supermarket lately, nothing's gone down and everything goes up, so it's gonna be a little
And
tricky.
I don't know if there was a slide here, but the utilization of the free lunches, so we have a little under 3,000 students and we're serving 30,000 meals. So to me, this seems like we're still not getting
Per month.
per month, yeah,
And
30,000 meals per
The average month
month.
we serve maybe 20 days.
20
Remember,
days.
Weekends don't count.
So to me, that's like 50%, rough numbers, I guess. So is that, we have
It's
50%,
definitely significantly up from last year.
it's up from last year, but still not seeing 100%, okay.
No, you're not at 100%. Even during COVID year, like the first year where we went completely free, 21, 22, coming out of COVID,
Mhm.
that was our highest ever. I think we served like 220,000 meals, lunch only. So we haven't gone back to those kind of numbers yet, but it's early on. In the first 2 months of this year, we've served close to 57,000 lunches, and last year we only served 40. So you're already seeing that. Then tack on another 20,000 in breakfast. So you're gonna see a significant amount of.
That's an uptick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you very much.
I think,
So, Eddie fiercely defends his meals he serves, so we'd like to invite all the board members to come and have a meal with us.
which one though?
You
School,
choose.
high
You're
school?
choosing.
What do you-
High school.
High school?
I choose the
or-
high
Go to
school.
Munson
I choose the high
Middle
school. We go with people who know.
Every day is great day, so any day.
Red Devil, I think Red Devil.
Oh, yeah, they're, might be a single Friday.
Yeah, that,
Mr. Baber, I just want to add or mention, I think there's probably some room for further discussion here, but because there was such a drastic change in how lunch and breakfast is handled in New York State, I think, we have to let that settle out, whether that's more fresh food and, vegetables and fruits or whatever. I just don't know that anybody really knows what this looks like. We're in the middle of it, so we have to see.
We're also hoping that the state will continue to support it. I mean, if their budget gets tight, who knows?
I guess definitely throws a monkey wrench into things, I guess. We'll have to wait it out a bit.
Can't rail about food dyes while we're stuck with a state system, so.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyone else? No? Appreciate it, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the business section. Before we do, the policy committee, I didn't know, are we looking to untable the items in old business, the policies there to actually vote on them?
We're gonna read policies, is that what you're asking? We're gonna read the policies from the email today.
Yeah, but
Are we gonna untable them to vote on them, or we have the first reading on them today? We tabled them last month.
I would suggest we read them today.
Okay.
With the exception of AI, I think we should actually, within the policy, actually put it into place today so they can start using it tomorrow. Is that that's what you guys.
Yeah, we'd like you to adopt the AI policy.
Yeah, I think the other ones will be read in, but the actual AI policy should be adopted tonight, which under our policy, we're allowed to. Policy of policies.
Suspend the rules,
Yeah.
yeah. Suspend the rules.
Alicia, do you want to comment on why we're asking that to be adopted?
You talking about the AI?
Yeah,
I'm just curious,
it's really-
what's the expedition on this? And
Yeah.
I had some questions I emailed earlier. So,
Sure.
pull those up too, just make sure we address those. Okay.
So the AI policy is to help with safeguards in for the district. We have been working on different AI pilots. Teachers met last year to look at what products would be the best use for our students. AI is here. It is our jobs to teach our staff and students how to use it appropriately, safely, and effectively. There are colleges that now allow a certain percentage of papers that students submit to be written by AI. So it is our responsibility to teach our staff and students how to use it. We also ensure that any product that we use is Ed 2D compliant, that no personal identification is put in place of it. One of the programs is Magic School AI. Another one is, Gemini is part of Google Classroom. We have it. So we have a plan to roll it out with our staff and our students on how to use it, when to use it. And a lot of districts put it in their acceptable use policy or their district code of conduct. But when we spoke about it with our attorneys, they said it would just be better off to make it a separate policy. And we would like It also hinders our students. There's competitions that students need to be able to use components of AI. So we really would like to be able to move forward with all these educational tools for our staff and students.
Do we have a product that we're looking at to subscribe to, I guess, because you can't.
Well, the thing is, Gemini is free through our Google Classroom, as well as Magic School AI is a committee of teachers met last year. They reviewed different products. A lot of districts out on the island use it. It is a great tool. Teachers have been already dabbling in it to differentiate their lessons. I saw one firsthand that I have. It's very hard for teachers to differentiate for every level of student sometimes in a classroom. And when I observed this, actually a new teacher, it was remarkable. And by the end of the lesson, all the kids had the same answers, but they didn't know that they had different material in front of them. So these AI tools are very powerful in helping us meet the needs of our students.
And then the policy includes a provision like on a teacher-by-teacher basis, I guess, when they use it. Do we see that being confusing or inconsistent?
For
I guess?
students, we're talking.
On the student side, like a teacher-by-teacher policy of utilization of this. I guess
Well, we'll be working as a school district and also by the level. You know, elementary, middle, and high school are all going to have different pieces, whether teachers use it differently in one subject versus the other. But it's basically, the policy is to put in place safeguards that we are following the law, we are being Ed 2D compliant, and we have safeguards up for teachers and students.
there'll be coordination, I guess, so teacher by teacher, but.
It's going to be coordinated.
The grade
by-
level will meet and say, all right, we're all gonna do this in fifth grade, or we're all gonna do this in.
I think, if I'm correct, I think the teacher by teacher Doug's referring to is more about the teacher will decide which sections of a lesson or which parts of a project the students are allowed to use AI or not, that the teacher has discretion whether or not to allow AI into those products the students are using.
So teachers have discretion on what they do inside their classroom. However, what we pride ourselves in is that, you know, as we're working on vertical alignment, interdisciplinary, as well as having common assessments within departments, that there are going to be some commonalities, but there are going to be some probably early adopters, and there will be some teachers who go running with it, and they will be the people that will champion this, and then others will learn from them. And that's kind of anything in education, that a teacher has a great idea, they implement it, they test it out, they look at the kinks, and then everyone's like, oh, wow, that's really great, I want to learn how to
It's
do
not new to AI, I guess, yeah, it's not new to AI, there's been other
It's-
instances of.
It's just AI is the
teachers running away with
new
some-
trend, educational trend right now, but
It's a
it's
trend
happened.
everywhere. It's a
Yeah.
trend everywhere.
Well, I'm
It's
saying it
making everyone more
happens,
efficient,
it happens
whether you like it or
with
not.
anything that we do in education.
I'm just concerned about if it's on a classroom by classroom basis, but you're saying more is gonna be the group of teachers at a certain grade level will kind of.
You gotta get buy-in.
Yeah.
Like with anything, and that's why we have a whole plan to roll it out to the staff. We've already done some PDs on how AI can be powerful, like I just explained, in helping a teacher do lesson planning with that. So we've already started, you know, showing the power of it, but we have a whole rollout of then doing professional development with teachers, how teachers then can turnkey it, you know, the students, and so forth, so. So it would be really great if we can get this policy in place, so then we can turn on certain things for teachers to start using, as well as then the students.
One other question was, will we be limiting certain AI platforms, I guess? Are we only gonna be focusing on this Magic School AI and Gemini, or not letting them use other products out there?
So the thing is, it has to be Ed 2D compliant.
Okay.
So Magic School AI is a program that is what we are focusing our professional development on, as well as then Gemini is part of the Google Classroom, which is also Ed 2D compliant. So we're not just going to let them.
Use ChatGPT?
No, we're just.
I know it's blocked on the network here, I guess, so.
It's blocked for students. And right now, like Magic School AI, we have it blocked for students, but we have been teaching teachers how to use it for lesson planning and other tools like that.
And Ed 2D compliant just means it protects student privacy.
Yes, right. So there's no personal identifiers. And if a student ever tried to put something in flags, it blocks. It won't allow it.
Are there any utilizations, I guess this is for Peter, I guess, in the business office, I guess, is that, or were you kind of just communicate, were you just communicating the greater district need for the AI policy?
Ask a younger person.
Okay.
I'll say this, we talk about this at my office, but certainly across a lot of industries. AI doesn't replace an industry, but it's gonna replace people who don't use it. And you're gonna see it in the business office eventually, Peter. You're gonna see it, all over. And we want our teachers using this because, sometimes you're running a lesson and maybe it's not perfect and you're like, I think this could be a little better, or you're reviewing it. And if you can have somebody do that for you while you're still focusing on the other 2 billion things you gotta do, that's a good use of your time. And if in the same view, if kids aren't understanding how to properly use AI, they're going to fall behind in college and their careers. So we want to get this out as soon as possible.
And just to make sure that we're clear too, that obviously our policy on policies allows us to advance this for adoption at the first reading, but this is not something that's coming out of the blue. The lawyers have reviewed this, they've had input on this. It's something that the policy committee.
The lawyer wrote the policy. It did not really make it through the policy committee, just based on timing of the meetings, but it's consistent with the courses Ms. Versace took, I've read about and saw the slides, so it's
like a
it's
one-page
not brand,
policy.
it's not brand new to education, it's just the new policy to us.
It's not very deep, it's a one-page
Originally,
policy.
like I had said, that a lot of districts use it, put the AI component in their acceptable use policy, but our lawyers had said, when we had asked for it to be in there, they just rather have it as a separate.
And just to that point, the reason for that was we just passed the acceptable use policy, and it probably will at some point be revised anyway, so it felt a little too all over the place.
I think
for
she
lawyers.
also mentioned that she thought it was such a significant area that it probably deserved its own.
It's also a law firm
policy, and
that
it's gonna-
represents most or a lot of districts, so you'll see it mirrored
Right.
in all of their districts at some point.
Right.
I'm more comfortable with this, that's good, I'm ready for it.
I don't see it in there, is it, on the new business?
No, I have to do an addendum.
Okay,
So I'm
so,
not gonna do it now.
all right, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, to the point of AI, during agenda prep, Dr. DiPaolo mentioned that colleges are gonna allow students up to 40% of their essays to be AI. But you're not gonna get a 40% discount, so, tuition. At least they'll be able to use it for 40% of their paper. Anyway.
I think, do we still have to do regular business?
Yeah, we gotta do regular, I'm gonna do it now. So do I have a motion to approve items 1 through 17? Is there Mr. Marcy, second? Mr. Garcia? Actually, I'd like to,
I also make the motion to add additional items number 18, settlement agreement and general release, as well as item number 19, review and adoption of policy 4526.2.
so do I have a motion to approve items 1 through 19 as amended? Mr. Garcia, second. Mr. Morrissey, all in favor?
All in favor, 7-0, motion passed.
Moving on to the next section, Pride and Plain Edge, opportunity for board members to present on attendance, participation at school and/or community events. Open up to the board.
Yeah, I attended the Safe Halloween here at the high school. Our students did a great job of hosting all the elementary school kids and the preschool kids, all the clubs. They really catered to all the little guys that came to the high school, and felt like it really brought the community together. It was nice to see the older kids with the younger kids trick-or-treating throughout the high school, and they had great activities planned for them. And I also attended the art show at the Brian Moore Community Center, and the kids did a great job. And one of our board members has a kid who had a nice piece of art on display there, so congratulations. It's a very nice sculpture, and that's it for me.
I didn't do a whole lot the last couple of months because I was coaching my son's Bobcats team, which we ended our season earlier in the playoffs than we had hoped. But I did get to go to a lot of football events, and the Bobcats had a banner year, frankly, and I want to say congratulations to all of them. The high school football game, the last home game for Coach Shaver, they used my video up on the scoreboard. Joe, yours as well, and I think that was Mr. Kevin White put that all together. I got like 7 text messages. Make sure you do this. So I did it, and the whole day was great. I was at the football game. We call it the football game. I don't know what else you call it, but I mean, it is kick line, it's cheer, it's the band, it's the whole TV crew and the announcers. Really, I'm sitting there just thinking to myself, like, how else would you bring all the, art, athletics, academics into one place and then fill the stands to cheer for them all? I mean, I don't know that there's another way to do that. There should be. I'd love to see the band performances have a huge crowd, on a Friday night for them, but it really is great that all of that comes together, and it was weird imagining that's the last time Coach Shaver will be on the field. He was my high school football coach. My freshman year was his first year, so all good things come to an end. But I look forward to the future and thank all the people who made that day and all the other days possible.
Awesome. Just to echo Joe, I spent quite a bit of time the last month in gyms watching cheer competitions, and across the board, the Bobcats cheerleaders also performed very, very well, racing regularly and routinely, and just a wonderful fall for all of our student athletes.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to add? I'll mention some items I attended as well. So I was at Coach Shaver's game. I think those are excellent points, Joe. I've never even thought of the production value and effort it takes to bring all those different activities that the school does really well together. Also went to the girls' volleyball championship. Unfortunately, they didn't pull off the win, but while I was sitting there, I was actually sitting low, like court level, and I just kept thinking to myself, I would hate to be the person on the other side of the net trying to set these balls. I mean, they're coming at you fast. I don't know how these girls do it. I mean, they're superior athletes, so it was really impressive. Obviously we had the Wizards event, which was a great event, and hosted by the PFT and the PTA for senior scholarships, so I want to thank them for that and their efforts in supporting our students. And last piece is Edge of the Arcade, which I thought was a great event. I mean, it's a lot of fun to see these kids with what they're able to create, just in terms of games. But when you really think about it and what they have to do to put it together, all the different skills, and actually the teamwork, because there's multiple students working together to create these games, it's impressive. So all the people who put it together, including Dr. DiPiola, thank you for that. So if there's nothing else, we'll move on to new business. With that, the first item is a final update on regionalization, the total spend. So with respect to that, we did get final numbers. Peter confirmed today that came in terms of attorney fees, less than $4,500 to fight regionalization. I know at that time the board authorized up to $50,000. I had mentioned that we're not going to get anywhere near that. So on average, you're looking at less than $1 per household to combat regionalization, which again was rushed and I think ill-conceived. And also, again, just not to go into the whole history, but it's to protect Plain Edge resources to ensure that they stay in Plain Edge. And with that, I just kind of wanted to give you the conclusion on that. They're on board docs, so you can actually see the court ruling as well as the press release, but I just want to read a section from the press release, which I think just gets to the bottom line of where this ended up. So the court's opinion issued this month dismissed the petition on procedural grounds, but explicitly recognized that the school districts, quote, have secured the state's and their council's adoption of clear legal positions herein that, 1, regionalization is optional and not mandatory, and 2, that those districts that opt out of regionalization efforts are not required to participate in regionalization efforts. And I think that's an important conclusion, because without that, it wasn't clear. because the letter of the law said one thing, and New York State Education was saying another thing. Here, at least now we have confirmation that what they were telling the public, even though it doesn't necessarily, if you read the language that was put in the New York State Register, even though they don't agree, we're gonna go based on the representations of New York State Education. So I don't think that would happen without, I think it was 21 school districts, if I recall, from Long Island predominantly,
One a couple from upstate.
pushing to fight against this. So I'll take that as a win, and I think it wasn't an expensive cost to make sure, again, that Plain Edge resources stay in Plain Edge. That's all I have on that. I'd like to give an update on the audit committee. Did anyone have any comments on that?
I think you put it very well. At the end of the day, it was rushed and botched, and it was an effort that doesn't really do anything we're not already doing. We're
Right.
cooperating with other districts. The state was asking for data that we already provide. It was an administrative nightmare, what they were trying to impose on us, and we fought to preserve local control and won.
Update on the audit committee chairman and vice chairman selection process. So 7 people applied for that. From that, the board, I polled the board, and the 4 people who were chosen, basically, or polled the highest, were chosen to submit their resumes, and then based on whether they submit their resumes or not, we'll then be moving them into an interview round and then appointing the chairperson and vice chairperson for that role. And we're hoping to have some overlap with Mr. Caruso, so that obviously there's some training, and obviously we'll have them meet with Peter and Teresa, who will really be able to bring them up to speed on the school district's finances. So I think it's a critical position, and I think having 2 people in this role is important, because I mean, it's a $110 million budget, so we're talking about big dollars. We want to make sure that things are being viewed and reviewed the right way. Moving on to the third item, the fitness center for public usage. So with respect to that, unfortunately, I think, there were some rumors going around about what this topic of conversation was about that were inaccurate. How those rumors started, I don't really know, but, I have my suspicions. But that being said, I think what we wanted to do was let the community know that, the fitness center is not really being used to its full capabilities. And it's something that we recognize. Regardless of our opinions on the fitness center, the prior board had decided that this is something that the community would want. And obviously, what we'd like to do is continue that. And I think the primary purpose of the fitness center was to allow tax-paying Plain Edge residents to be able to use the facility. And what we've noticed is that maybe the underutilization is because maybe it's too restrictive. So the conversations we actually had to do with maybe removing the 50-minute time slots, allowing it to be more like a regular gym, first come, first serve. So you have to swipe in because we need to know who you are. You need to be a Plain Edge resident. I don't think there's going to be, and again, this is a discussion, but from speaking for myself, there's not, in my opinion, an appetite for guest passes, because this is supposed to be community focused. This is Plain Edge School District, and we're doing something for the community. This is not Planet Fitness or Jack and Lane. If you want guest passes, I guess you should go there. But for here, this is Plain Edge only. This is Plain Edge monies, just like regionalization. Our stuff stays with us as much as possible, and if there is a need to share, we'll share with other school districts, but not when it comes to this. So again, I think what we want to do is revisit this setup. I don't know who the right person is. Maybe it's Mr. Sachs, who's the athletic director, but have him go back, look at what we're doing, and completely think about how we can change it so that maybe we can get utilization up. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know if anyone else has something they want to add or have opinions on that.
Yeah, I definitely like to see utilization go up. The numbers seem very low, and it's a great resource for the public. And I believe we could also try to make it more accessible to people who might not use the cell phone to start scheduling their their attendance here, so maybe there's a way, maybe it is like a pass that you can have in your wallet on your phone, but maybe there's something we could do through the central office, like for, we don't have phones, I guess.
Right, there's
if we're
that
gonna go down the
conversation.
town.
We met with
Alvina.
Alvina Allison today, who pretty much oversees the running of the facility.
Mhm.
And, there were a group of people who completed half the application and didn't complete the other half. There was two programs that they had to go to. I know she's reached out to everyone personally, said, hey, you only completed half the application, we'd love you to come in. Please complete the other half, and we can issue you a card and you can start using. She also said, yeah, there are people who don't have smartphones, but we accommodate them, they just come. We haven't turned anybody away at this point.
Maybe they
At
gotta
any
know that,
session,
I
we
guess,
haven't.
the accommodation, but maybe people don't know, or, seniors who might not have a smartphone don't know about the accommodation that we could do.
Every grandparent has a smartphone,
Well,
every grandparent.
There
They
are
want
some,
those
I would
pictures.
assume, I
They
would
want those
assume,
pictures.
there are people who are not tech savvy, and maybe they need to know about this accommodation, I guess, that we could make a.
We're also looking to
hard
reach
card.
the other people that may not, have children in the school that don't get parent square messages and things like that, like, kind of there's a flyer.
Yeah,
that
we
was-
did a big mailing program a while ago, trying to reach every community member, not just people whose phone numbers we have because their children are in school. We've done that. We were thinking of, we still have some of those postcards left over, thinking of ways to utilize them to reach people who we haven't reached yet.
Can I make a suggestion?
Of course.
Could we possibly do an orientation for new people, all ages, whoever's interested in coming, and give them a tour of the gym?
An open house?
Yeah, like an open house, and maybe
Sure.
advertise that a little bit more, because.
Maybe we could get all those community groups, sorry, Kat, that we've been sharing there.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
go for it.
So I've been to the Senior Citizen Center at St. James with the QR code months ago, but I'm more than happy to go back there with them to advertise the orientation. But I think it's also important, there's a lot of people that may want to go to a gym but are intimidated
Sure.
to do so.
Right.
So I really think it's important that we educate them about once they get inside, what should they do and where do they go? And there's other issues that a lot of people have been very constructive. I would love to speak to anybody about this, to just make it better. We just want, if we're paying for this, we need to make it the best
Mhm.
we possibly can.
So we're trying to
So I'd
alleviate
be
some of
more
those
than happy
restrictions,
to
right?
jump in. This is totally in my wheelhouse, so
Mhm.
I would love to, help whoever make this better. Let me know.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I was gonna say we could ask the Bobcats, the Cross Soccer, the groups that are asking us to send out their information, maybe they could send out ours.
I think that, we looked at time usage, what time people were, obviously most people go before dinner, they're probably not going
Well,
to the
the
gym
other
after
issue
dinner.
that people keep asking, why don't we offer more hours? But that's because our kids are using
yeah.
it. So we're very handcuffed in that
Yeah,
set.
we also had we had one, I think we had one session that was later that had virtually no usage.
You can see
Yeah.
it tails off as it actually gets
Right.
later. Yeah, so just,
And I think I was told today, Joe, you can correct me, that most of the population that is using the facility are the seniors.
Currently, yes.
Yeah, currently.
Oh, good
And
now.
students have started to use it at night also.
Yeah, there's some very consistent people coming that the staff knows very well, and
Right.
they're seniors in the community, and they're loving the experience. So we just need to get it out there for more people to know how they can utilize it.
And make it accessible.
I think I want to just say, it's gotta make sense economically. Gyms in general, the business model is sell like 200% of your capacity, knowing that 130% of the people are never showing up.
Yeah.
I've been paying for, is it Blink Fitness in Main Street for like 3 years? I've been there 20 times in 3 years, and I'm their best customer because I don't show up. And that's unfortunately how the model is. And people come and then they stop going and then they'll come back again. Look, it's the school, so it's students first. There's opportunity for the community to use it. We do have to try to increase its usage, otherwise at some point it would go away, and that's not what anybody wants to see. It's there. But if it doesn't get used, then it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I don't know that we need to plan exactly how we're gonna adjust it tonight. Maybe, Joe, I have some thoughts I could kind of put into, bullet points too. And maybe we could aggregate those and then maybe we get a report back about some thoughts. And you don't need a board vote to change all this stuff. So we could try a couple different things too. Let's keep messing with it till we get it right.
We could drop off some of those postcards at the library. I think a lot of seniors use
A lot of
the
us could
library.
use the walk, Joe. How about you? We'll go around door to door, postcards. Give us the streets. We'll head out there.
So anyway, I heard rumblings about seniors using it. I just want to let you know that from a school level, anyone over the age of 18 is already automatically a senior, so please don't take offense to that. It's just how we look at things. So, just wanted to clarify that point. So moving on to section 4, or item number 4, expanding bus service and vehicles and daily buses. So what I did here was I had put together some bylaws, because again, this was something that is important to the community, and we've listened to the community, we're out there. And this really is to try to address 2 issues that seem to be coming up all the time. One of them has to do with people who live north of the Southern State Parkway and south of Jerusalem Avenue who don't get bus service to Plainage High School. And obviously during the winter months, it's dark, you're crossing the Southern State Parkway. You as a parent are maybe going off to work, whatever, you want to make sure your child's getting to school safely, especially if they're not a driver. So what we're going to do is, and I forget the gentleman's name, we're going to bring on this bus guru to help us start thinking about that and maybe how we can tackle it. This individual, I think it was last year, Massapequa had a referendum on providing these buses either to the whole district or increasing their bus routes, and this person was able to do it at no additional cost to the Massapequa taxpayer just by changing the routes. Now, I can't say that's what's going to happen in Plainedge. Obviously, that's the point of the study, but I think it's worth it for us to investigate and try to alleviate this concern that parents have. And if we think about Plainedge Middle School, virtually every child who goes to Plainedge Middle School gets a bus. I'm not saying that we need to have universal busing, but we should at least try to make the commute back to school and back home safe, or as safe as possible. So I think it's something worth investigating. This is one of those things that out of the committee, they'll make a recommendation to the board, and then the board would have to put it on the ballot to vote. That's just the way these things work. The other thing is late buses. When late buses were tried the first time, I forget how many years ago, 3-4 years ago maybe, we had commissioned a study from some experts, I think they're in northern New York or western New York. And they provided us 3 options, each with different amounts and characteristics of what the late bus program would look like. One of the common refrains that we heard, unfortunately, was that the community wasn't really surveyed to understand what they thought should work in terms of scheduling late buses, et cetera. I think that's one part of the pie. The other part of the pie, in my opinion, is also getting those after-school groups to understand, like, how can we standardize schedules to try to see if maybe we can make late buses a success, right? So if coaches are, and I'm not blaming them, so I hope they don't take offense to this, but let's say everyone has a different start and end time. It's hard to try to make schedules work, and obviously there's field and gym constraints, so sometimes maybe there's complexity. I surveyed a ton of people about also what they do in other school districts. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Some just allow enough late buses just for after-school clubs and/or extra help. Some will do that plus athletics. So it takes a variety of shapes, and I don't think we really have the knowledge to know what that could look like in Plainedge for it to be successful. But I don't see why we shouldn't try to look at this again in a more holistic approach. So this charter that I put together with the bylaws is to form a committee on that, and it's going to be comprised of a bunch of different groups. You'll have 2 Board of Ed members, the transportation coordinator, the expert, school administrator, 2, is this the old one? Oh, no, sorry, this is the new one. 2 parent guardian representatives, one from the elementary and one from the secondary, 1 student representative, after-school program coordinator, and then a bus driver. And I think we
This would
also.
be Rudy, if I could recommend adding Mr. Sachs,
Yeah.
or someone from his office onto the committee.
Yeah, well, also someone from the athletics department. And so the goal is to form this committee and really try to figure this out, both for regular busing and after school. So what we're gonna do is create a survey, and we'll send it out through Parent Square, gauge interest about who wants to serve on it, and then we'll launch the committee. So please be on the lookout for that through Parent Square and also social media. I don't know if anyone else has any opinions or.
I think we saw how successful the ad hoc security committee was last year, how much buy-in there was into the process because it was open to the entire community, and we brought in expertise. Thank you for putting this together. I think that this is an effective way to examine our options moving forward.
So the next thing I want to do is relaunch the capital improvements committee. And, this is one of the big ticket items that we've spent a lot of money on over the years. I mean, we see it in our facilities, all the projects that have gone up. Everyone has an opinion on whether they're too much, too little, the right projects, not the right projects. And we can say, okay, we have 7 people up here, and they make the decisions in terms of what they want to put out to the community, and the community votes on propositions 2 and 3, whether we move those forward or not. Although we're in the community a lot at various events, et cetera, and I think we have a generally good pulse on that, I think formalizing the committee to really solicit that information and really try to determine where should we be investing in our buildings or our fields is really the right way to go. So we tried to launch this a year ago. Unfortunately, it didn't really come off the right way. Unfortunately, I think the first meeting, maybe 3 people from the community showed up, and by the second or the last meeting, it was just like 1 person. And that's not enough to really run a committee. So I want to try it again. I think in terms of how we select people, will be a little bit different in the sense that we're really going to try to gauge upfront why you're interested in serving on this community and what you can bring to it. So hopefully through vetting people that way, we'll have a higher rate of participation and really be able to launch a successful committee. If this doesn't work out, I think the next thing might be thought exchange at a minimum, to just put ideas out there that maybe are part of the 5-year architectural plan that we should be revisiting this year with our architect in terms of things that need to be fixed in our facilities and other ideas. So, that's usually a pretty long and extensive list, and we're not going to get everything done on that list, but that would be the starting point. And so, we'll keep at it, because that's just what we do. And so please be on the lookout for that. Through Parent Square, we'll be sending a survey, or the district will be sending a survey through Parent Square and also through social media. So just wanted to mention that.
And just a reminder for anybody who keeps hearing about Parent Square, who doesn't have it or doesn't get the notifications, any member of the community can be on Parent Square. There's it's sometimes called Community Square, but you can be getting district announcements on an app as well as emails. Every community member, you don't have to have a child in the school. So if you don't know how to do that and you're hearing this, grab me tonight or call me on my phone tomorrow, and I'll figure out, I'll try to remember how to do it. Call Central Admin, I guess they can help with that.
That includes those who Saturday.
Call Central Admin first.
Yep. Does anyone have any comments on anything?
I'm good with all of that.
Okay.
Do we need to vote on anything?
No.
Okay.
Old business has to do with the policies. So I'm going to turn over to the policy committee to discuss these items.
So the first one, 11:30 News Media Relations, is a policy we had. We're changing it pretty extensively. There's a lot in there. Everybody read it. I don't want to editorially. Oh my God, I can't do it. I don't want to give too much of my opinion on it. It's the words are there for you all to read. A big one will be about how we answer questions about school security, as well as presentations and how things like that are approved or handled. And I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We will be abolishing 6830 and the regulation for it as well, or the regulation, I'm sorry, we're abolishing, and then adopting a revised policy 6830. That has to do with expense reimbursements, whether that's board members going to a conference, employees going to a conference, set some limits on what, how much you could spend in your meal allowance, and just brings us up to where the attorney feels we should be, with some recommendations and discussions with the policy committee and central administration. And then 6850, meals and refreshments, review and adopt the revised policy for that one as well. That has to do with things like if there's a district meeting being held, or I should say like a meeting within a school, and they're gonna be ordering lunch or dinner. While they do that, just some of the procedure of how that's done and when it's allowed, and I don't think there's much there. It took us forever to get through that one, but there wasn't a whole lot changing on that, but obviously you could all see it did update. So the policy committee was good with all these after a lot of back and forth with the lawyer and central administration.
I was going to say, just to highlight that these were all tabled at the last meeting to allow additional time for central administration to provide input into these and provide a lawyer to continue to revise them. And I thank you for your work on them.
You're welcome. All right, that's it for old business. Moving on to informational reports. Any questions on any of the reports? No? Okay, moving on to opportunities for public comment. We ask that all comments are directed to the Board of Ed President. We ask that you please limit it to 2 minutes in total. And we ask that you please use your microphone and clearly state. What? It's first read, right?
These were all first reads.
These
They
are
don't
first
need to
reads.
vote.
Yeah.
Peter, does that?
The only one we adopted is A.
We're gonna adopt
That
it.
check out with you?
Okay, yeah.
Only because they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, those aren't an emergency.
I mean, if we have to.
Right.
We're good.
Thank you. Hello, CC Townsend. How are you guys? I just wanted to address the fitness center. I know what you have stated about social media. I have avoided commenting these past couple of years since I've left the board. And I wanted to be known that the board has always represented positivity. You and I may not agree on everything, nor any of the past board members that served before me and how I felt they did. But I would love for Plainage to be back on the track on positivity, because I believe that past and present board members volunteer a lot of time to do what's in the best interest of Plainage. So with that said, I read a lot of comments about this fitness center. I was very proud of the fitness center. It was put out on a vote to the community, so it wasn't something that was decided by the board. It was something that we discussed in depth about being positive about our physical health. So it is very important that we are healthy, not just as a school district, but as a country, that we not focus on just, oh, let's provide fruits and vegetables. Well, guess what? Everyone needs to find the importance of physical health. If we instill it in our children in physical health education in our buildings, well, then we need to educate our community, whatever age. I mean, I'm sure I'm closer to the senior community than the ones who, the parents of recent graduates. But I've always said, we have a very big senior community, and we need to engage them somehow or another. So I realize you guys are saying we need to go back to the table, maybe we need to find ideas. I mean, there are lots of ideas. you can get the high school clubs to engage in a competition. Bring your grandparents this week and do a competition of how many can actually bring their grandparents. I don't know, there are many avenues, but to hear that we would just possibly, because of low attendance. Now, I myself, a million years ago, did work at Jack LaLanne, okay? So I understand how important it is to be physically fit. Now, I wasn't always physically fit. I went through different periods of my life where there were weight swings. But you know, it's not just about what weight we should be. It should be about how healthy we should educate our children, the parent community, and the entire community population. So with that said, I believe that we have people involved, including our educators, who can strengthen this goal. So with that said, I appreciate the fact that you guys are trying to engage in the community. I do want it for the record that I am a little tired of being told or things communicated that the past boards have not done things in manner of helping our Plainage community be the best. I've always said our motto is we may be small, but we are mighty. And I hope we can get back on a path of positivity about everything. Our mind being elevated, and that we can pursue the highest of education, and that we can be of great spirit, and that our body positive image can always be improved. Thank you.
Thank you for the comments. I would just say that I think what I did say today, I don't know what was said on social media, because I'm not in that community. What I will say is, I think what I said today was that we were going to continue past board practice and try to expand it. So I think we're in line with what the prior board was trying to do. Whether we have our own personal beliefs on that or not is a different story. That's not what I didn't express my personal beliefs on fitness. All I said is we're trying to get more people in there. So I think we're in alignment there. Thank you.
I'd like to get up to
Hi, my name is Jen Thurl. I'm the principal of Shorting Elementary and the co-president of the Plainage Administrators Association. So going on the positive note, tonight I want to take a moment to recognize the incredible spirit of community that defines Plainage. Over the past few weeks, I was reminded how powerful we are and what can happen when people come together with compassion, urgency, and share a commitment to what's doing is right. When one of our families found themselves in crisis, our community did not hesitate. Plainage acted, they showed up, and they reminded all of us what it truly means to take care of one another. I want to begin by thanking Mr. Demiria, I hope I'm saying his name right, who put out a call to help and within a single weekend collected clothing for 3 children. His quick action and his ability to mobilize others ensured that these students had what they needed immediately. Then I would like to thank my PTA president, Mrs. Powers, who stepped in without a second thought, providing ride, support, consistency at a time when the family in need needed stability the most. Her kindness filled the gap that could not have been filled in any other way. To Mr. Wasserman, our guidance director, thank you for working tirelessly behind the scenes to help secure shelter and create a plan that would keep this family safe. Your dedication and the hours you put in made a life-changing difference. To Ms. Muscarella, who checked in every single day, who came to Shorting at night and sat with us until we knew the children were safe. I want to thank you for that. Your presence, your calm, and your commitment gave this family and our team reassurance during a stressful time. I also want to thank our POP officers, whose support is always steady and deeply appreciated, as well as our entire central administration team, who offered guidance, resources, and constant availability as we navigated this difficult situation together. It truly took a village, and Plainage definitely showed up. And while I'm speaking about support, I want to offer a brief but sincere thank you to our Board of Education. Thank you for including our administrative team in the important conversations surrounding the search for a new superintendent. Your willingness to collaborate, your transparency, and your steadfast support throughout this transition are deeply appreciated. The time you volunteer on behalf of our students, our staff, and our community helps make Plain Edge the successful, caring district that it is. Tonight, I am grateful, I am proud, and I am reminded that this community, no one stands alone. Thank you.
How you doing? I'm one of those seniors that attend the fitness center and one of the regulars. Yeah, couple of things I've been noticing that the attendance has actually been going up. It's probably because of the cold weather. A lot of people, when the weather's nice, they're out walking, taking advantage of the track around the gym when it's around the ball field when it's available and all. They biking through the bike path and all. What I noticed is the weather's been getting colder. Even going to the gym more often. We've been going quite often. I did see people get turned away. They had flip phones. They couldn't figure out how to do the thing. I do belong to another gym. Little keychain, barcode. I don't think these are very expensive. I don't think it's very hard to make. I think that would solve a lot of problems also. I really did like the first come, first serve. One of the reasons I keep the second gym is I actually, after a workout, I actually go to another gym for other things that this one don't offer, but it's limited to 50 minutes, so I work out at the other gym for an extended period. Also, my wife had major surgery, and when her physical therapy was done, it was perfect. They offered the gym time. She's here tonight. I don't know if she wants to talk, but it really worked out for her, and it's amazing the strength and watch her play with the grandkids. It's fantastic. The younger ones, I've seen a lot of students coming, but a lot of the parents are not coming because you got to get a babysitter. It's hard to, sometimes you just got to look at it. But I've been seeing a lot of people attending lately. All right, and staff is wonderful, very helpful. I just think it's a wonderful thing, and we've been telling everybody about it, so we've been pushing it.
Tell some more.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I just want to say I am very happy that we have the physical fitness center. I am there all the time. I love it. I think it's great. All my friends are envious that we have a fitness center. It may be underutilized. I don't think a lot of people know about it. I think the advertising at the very beginning was very poor. I didn't know about it. I've been living here 50 some odd years. I did not know about it. A stranger told me about it. I just think it's great. I think it's great that you finally think about the residents and not just the children, because there would be no children if it wasn't for the residents. My kids all went to the school. I was very active, PTA treasurer. My kids are up, gone. They have their own lives. I have no connection to the Plain Edge community other than the few friends that I still keep in touch with. Coming back into this building is life-changing. I plan my day around, people say I like to work out in the morning. So do I. But I change. I plan my day around a certain time. I get home. My schedule has changed, and I've met such wonderful people. I met Gary and his wife, who I never knew. We talk. It's a great thing. And it's not just seniors. You mentioned seniors. Whoever one of you mentioned seniors. It's not just seniors. I talked to a young couple tonight on the treadmill. They said they didn't know about it. So it's not just people that have children in school. There's a whole mess of people out there that can be reached. And you, Mr. Garcia, you said you have a membership for the past 3 years at a gym, and you don't go. Why don't you come here?
I'm gonna see you there next week. Don't coach you, I shouldn't plug them. I'm gonna come see you.
I've never seen any of you,
I'm
I've
gonna
never
go.
seen any of you.
I mean, I think it's apparent that I'm not going, so.
Dr. Salinas was there all the time. I got to know him. I said to him, you did not advertise this physical fitness center enough. And he said, well, we did this and we did that. I said, I never saw it. And I think a month or two later, postcards went out. I said to him, I'll distribute flyers for you. That's how much this, when I walked in that room and I saw how beautiful, it is so well done, it's beautiful, it's kept beautifully. The teachers that are there, they're so friendly and helpful, they'll do anything for you. I just don't know how you could think about taking that away, especially when we voted on it, like this lady said. We voted on it.
I just want to be clear, sorry. None of us talked about it going away. That was someone who
Well, that's
created.
the big rumor. that
That's a
you wanna
rumor,
call
and
it.
that's the problem with rumors. Someone with ill intentions thought of putting it out there to get people upset and riled up. I have my suspicions who it is and why they did it, but it's not true. So I think I would just not look at what's being said on social media because it's the furthest thing from the truth. We were in agenda prep, Mr. Morrissey, myself, Dr. Pete, I think Mr. Prazzo, and Mrs. Muscarella. And we were talking about how do we get utilization up. And it was the complete opposite.
That's the kind of, I don't know.
So I mean, my point
Something,
is,
I don't know.
for people to put out information when they're not even part of the conversation in the room is absurd. So if someone has that, they should come forward. I'd love to know who put that information out, that we were closing it. But that person won't identify themselves because they know it's a lie. They're liars, and I'm just gonna call it for what it is.
Well, I sure hope it is, because those of us that go, we love it. I mean, I talked to a woman tonight on the treadmill, and then she said, she takes her 82-year-old mother once a week there. It's a great thing. It really is a great thing, health-wise, and it's a good thing for the community. It really is.
Understood.
Any help that you need as far as getting the word out, I tell everybody really about it. I would do anything to keep it going and to get more people. And everybody that comes is great.
I would also say, like, I don't have the numbers in front of me. A lot of people signed up for it. I forget how many, I forget what the number. 1,600 people showed up. I think if you were to look at who actually uses it, actual users, it's probably about 125 people. I mean, so Plainedge has about 19,000 people, call it 3,000, 4,000 are kids. So you're looking at 15,000, 16,000 people that should have access to the fitness center. 1,600 sign up, right, which is less than who comes out to vote. And then of that, 125 people actually use the gym. Our goal is to increase that.
Yeah, I would like to see that as well.
So 964 people who signed up and never visited once, not even a single swipe. So it's, I think a lot of things could be said about, it could be marketed better and this and that, and those are all valid concerns. I think that there's some level of truth to that. I think we've also tried really hard to figure out how do we approach seniors, which is why when we, first started, a newer board came in, we were like, can we use Parent Square? So we're trying all different avenues to reach those people. And I think to a certain extent, there is some level of success, but we're just not getting the numbers. And I think one of the biggest impediments to that is the 50-minute limit. Like if you're a parent, and take myself for example, I have 6 kids, I coach football, I'm on the board of ed, CFO in an investment bank, I'm probably still not gonna go to the gym because I'm just kind of lazy like that, to be honest, but if you're someone who is interested in going to the gym, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to make it. So to sign up for a 50-minute slot, to me, would be the first impediment. So I think, again, we're looking at ways to improve this. We're on your side.
The spot is not set in stone. I mean, I got there tonight at 6:15 and I left at.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think,
set in stone.
I think what we're trying to say is, we're trying to make it better. And so, I mean, in fairness to others, if that's okay, we allow other people to speak, and then if you still have more comments, we'll bring you back up.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your meeting. Doesn't look like I use the fitness center, but it's been part of my recovery from a stroke. So I was very happy to find out that it is in fact a rumor that it might be going away because it's part of my recovery.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest with you, I started going 2 or 3 times a week. The reason why I don't go more often or recently, I get on the app, no sessions available. The times just aren't convenient sometimes. I understand that the school is operating, so you can't come in the afternoon but then there are times in the evening, on the weekends. It's the availability that kind of deters me from coming. As far as the awareness, it's obvious that everybody agrees that that's part of the problem. Now, while the senior population needs to be addressed, there's a lot of new families coming in that are not aware of the program, and maybe an outreach has to be done with the realtors in the area. We've got these beautiful postcards. I think I still have one of mine flying around in my house somewhere. Maybe those postcards should be given to the realtors in the area, and when they sell a house, that should be left with the new owner because they're made aware of it. I just feel that it is, and as somebody who has volunteered a lot, I've got 3 kids in the school district, volunteered a lot, never hesitated. I saw the fitness center as a thank you. It's a thank you to the community for the support to the school district. So to see that go away would be a shame. And I'm happy that it is in fact a rumor. Anything that can be done to keep it open to the community. Sign me.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd just like to say, I had to leave for a moment, but I will say that there was never a conversation anywhere that existed that said that this fitness center would be closed. The only conversation that will ever evolve, it has evolved so far, is to look at how to make it better for the people, because we recognize that you're right, it's a magnificent facility, and it does have so much value to so many people, young couples who don't have any children yet in the school that, or like you just said, and these are great suggestions, and that's what we've been doing. We've been troubleshooting ideas about how to increase membership, how to make it easier and more convenient for the people that are there in terms of scheduling. So thank you for your suggestions.
One other point I want to make is maybe the process for signing up could be simplified a little bit.
We talked about that today too, you're right.
Because when you sign up, then you wait for this email.
Right.
To this day, I don't think my husband has ever gotten that email.
I found
same
that,
last name,
right.
Same address.
See, so there's 2
Never
forms
got
that are
through.
separate. One's on an app, and then there's another one. And if you don't do both,
It's too
then
complicated.
right, and we talked about that today too. So these are the kinds of things that we're troubleshooting to make sure that it's accessible. But there was never ever a conversation about closing that facility. Why would that happen right now? We haven't.
I heard it as a rumor.
I know, that's so
Which is a
unfortunate.
shame.
It is a shame that happened because it really gave people a false understanding. That's not what this board is about, or anybody, right? Because we recognize the value to it. They have to look at fiscal responsibility, correct? But on the other hand, we need to try options and options and options. It's more than one way to look at something, and that's what we're trying to do. And all of these suggestions are very valuable to us as well, so thank you.
Maybe the community should have a questionnaire or something. Why haven't you used this facility? What would allow you to, or what would make you more apt to use the facility?
Good suggestion. Thank you.
Any other reason?
Thank you so much.
Hi there, my name is Candace. Oh, I don't know how to do that. Excuse my big girl voice. My name is Candace. I have lived in the district for 6 years now, and I just found out about this thing. Just happened to be here at the meeting. I've been trying to get to them. My son started pre-K at East this year, and yeah, I had no idea. So that goes to show you. And you know, I've never heard about it. You have, I would guess, a couple hundred new families in the district every year. You know, maybe multiple kids, maybe not, but you know, a simple parent square thing probably would be really helpful at the beginning of each school year for anybody who's new to the district. That said, I kind of just want to make the point that I've lived here for a long time and hadn't heard of it, even with my child starting in the district. And one other thing that I'd like to say just while I am up here is just, if everyone could speak a little more loudly, I think it would be a lot more accessible for the folks in the back or who have a little bit of a, just because it's been kind of hard to hear a good amount of the meeting tonight. So I appreciate that, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing? My name is Frank Maiello, Plainedge resident for 19 years. Make it quick. Love the gym. Great, life-changing for me. Started my diet, I was that guy January 1st. Down 70 pounds, going to the gym. So, game changer for me. But in all honesty, it's a wonderful part of being in Plainedge. I mean, our tax dollars are our tax dollars. We pay a lot of money to live here. And I have no problem giving it. This school district has put 4 of my kids through this school district, and they did a phenomenal job. Every one of my kids, academic achievements amazing. But this is a nice little benefit for us. So I appreciate it. Just want to get that out there. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Same thing. Glad to hear that it's a rumor. I definitely in the gym. Same thing. I didn't find out until February. My crew over here, thank you so much for coming and supporting me.
Great.
And you know, I'm not a senior yet. I did take offense with that. Sorry for what else. One thing, so for real, with the fiscal responsibility, I get that. But it is our taxpayer money that funded this, correct? So even if it doesn't rise, even if we can't get more people out there, all these ideas are great. It's still our taxpayer money that funded it. So it really should not be on the board at all to close down. That's all I have to say.
Hello, Jennifer Maggio. Can you hear me? So I loved your idea, but I do want to remind you guys, we did have 3 open houses for the fitness center when we opened it. So maybe annually, a good idea is to have open houses, because we certainly did that. For those who don't know, I am a former board member. But I would have, you know, we never did, while I was on board, too much about our plans for the fitness center, unfortunately. I also wanted to mention that I attended the college testing night last night, and I would like to thank Mr. Wasserman and the guidance department and the high school for organizing the amazing event. I was surprised. I didn't see too many people with high school kids, but there were a few. And what I love is Mr. Wasserman already sent out for all of the families who weren't able to be there. I learned so much. I am not a high school educator, I'm an elementary educator, and the opportunities our students have for taking the PSAT in 10th grade and the SAT right here in their home school is outrageous. Not only do they have that opportunity, but as Dr. De Paola said, they have multiple SAT course sessions. They have the use of a program that allows children to use the exact calculator that they take when they take the SAT. So I think that is so valuable, and I was not aware of that program that they have access to. So I'm so excited we're getting that information out there. And also, within that program, there's a vocabulary builder, and our children have access to that. And I learned a lot last year, and it was just another thing that makes Plainedge an incredible place to live. So thank you again.
Anyone else have comments? If not,
I move to adjourn.
second? Mr. Garcia, all in favor? Thank you, everyone.